Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of Protectors of Light. Today, today might be the last day of the machine or the last day of the player characters. Let's find out. So, your characters were training, and I think with Jeff, we finished doing your level up. You have learned the martial arts Shotokan with the High Inquisitor Grey Rhodes, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Did you is what else did you boost with your development points?
I was still going through the painstaking task of adding the basic stuff that I get automatically to all of the uh, things on the sheet. So I haven't actually gotten around to that, but I want to pretty much dump it all into Dodge unless I've got too many points spent on that end of it. I know I can only do a percentage.
Okay. Yes.
And I don't know what my percentage is at.
Don't worry. You can spend all 70 points that you have left because you didn't put nearly the maximum of the percentage that you could have in at character creation in attack and block. So you can really boost. So you can put more than the 60% that is allowed because it's not 60% each level. It's 60% of your total development points.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to do that then. So the other thing I'm doing is I'm put the 70 points there. So that would be 35 more
A
to
boost
dodge.
of 35. So you would end up with a base of 85. All right. Yeah, that definitely boosts your damage. Okay. Um. So yeah, you're undergoing all of this training. You don't spend all of your time at the beach. You also spend a little bit of time at the edge of the cliff, which is, it looks like this very beautiful, idyllic sort of sanctuary, which is the area, which is caused by the fact that Willow has made this place sort of bloom. It has this sort of like magical feel to it, even if you can't sense um, magic being present, there's a good chance that it created or influenced by that magic. Um, so yeah, it's been a couple of days when Grey Road tells you that your training is complete. Um, well, or at least that you're as trained as you are going to be. And he starts to draw in the sand, um, in the dirt, a very crude map of the island of Kirdan. He points to the tree and says, "This is where we are. We're at the edge of the um, of the island. This is the manor of the Count Augustus Reed. Reg? Augustus Reg. This is where I went to spy on him and understand his plans a bit better. That's where he works from most of the time because his study and his books are there. This is the fishing village of Kirdan, and over there is the entrance to the quarry, which is where the and deep into the tunnels beneath the island is where the count found the mother. So our objective is to find the mother, and if the legends are true, it's an indestructible thing. So it wouldn't be possible to destroy it, but um, sealing it back up and taking care of any of its agents is what we should be uh, trying to do. Now we have at our disposal group of 30 sailors, a Hamadryad that can animate a war golem of Solomon, and the three of you and myself, who I can't enter any battle where I might get captured. So you, whatever my use in the strategy, I will probably end up doing something away from the battlefield, like trying to cause a distraction of some sort. We don't understand how we can. We don't know how we can shut off the machine yet, so we might need to get information from somewhere before we go and try to shut it down, or we could just rush in. Captain Florentino, who's like listening on the planning, because his men are going to be involved in it, he says, "The Count Reed, that reminds me of something. Ah, yes. When I was at the court, the imperial court, I visited there when I was accompanying the admiral of the fleet. I met him. He's a noble who had to leave the court because he had very strong allergic reactions all of the time. Apricots were very likely to kill him, and he kept thinking that there were plots to poison him when he was just reacting poorly to things he'd eaten. He's kept his life away from the court because he kept fearing assassination for poisons, and I think that's all I know about him. But it might be useful knowledge to know that his immune system is not very good at protecting him. So Grey Rhodes nods, says we can use this as well. And we have to take into account that our time is very limited because we don't know when High Inquisitor Gil will arrive on the island and compromise our plan. One last thing to take into account is I made a mistake. I made a pretty bad mistake when I tried to teach Edward about a technique. We ended up developing a technique that he based slightly on my electricity powers, and now he has very minor control over electricity. It's not something that's subtle enough, but if he uses this technique, the machine might target him as someone who has enough control over electricity that he might be considered someone who can awaken the mother. I don't think he would be able to, but it might paint a target on his back. So this is the situation. How are we going to approach it, gentlemen? And Gabriel.
Oh boy. I wish we could keep, like, the ship repairs aren't even coming along, are they? Like, that's not in the cards right now.
The ship sank.
Oh, the ship sank?
Yes.
I thought we got it like to shore was just. Oh no, you're right. The entire ship sank.
It was rowboats. You do have rowboats available for everyone, for the 30 crew.
Robots. They're robots.
Can Al just walk out there and pick it up and carry it out?
He could probably pick up a cannon and carry it out. I don't know if the gunpowder would be any good though.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, they're wise sailors. They've sealed it inside of waterproof kegs, so it's fine.
Hopefully so.
One of the MF, who's been animated on low power mode by Willow, says, I could go retrieve the carcass, but it would take me some time.
Okay, I was gonna say, absolutely all jokes aside, having some gunpowder, just a barrel of gunpowder, is never a bad idea. Well, okay, sometimes it's a bad idea, but I think it would be alright in this one. Barring that would take up our Emeth's time.
Mm-hmm.
I could go and retrieve this powder from within the ship. That wouldn't take me very long. I have a rough estimate of where your vessel sank, and walking on the ocean floor isn't much of a problem as long as I don't run out of power.
But I bet that would take a lot of energy for the Hamadryad to keep him charged that long.
If I go slowly, I can stay on the power mode, on the low power mode, and still transport things. It's fighting that takes a lot of energy.
Did I put any into tactics?
What?
I thought I put something into tactics for Luca. I put it in leadership. We're all leaders for some reason. Oh, wait.
Okay.
So
We can command 3 separate armies.
well, 3 separate crews of sailors.
If
Let's
you do
see.
groups of 10s, yes.
Yeah, small sailor groups. And really, at that point, I think I don't want to do this. They would largely be like cannon fodder, and
They would be, yeah. I don't want to bring them.
I wouldn't mind if they like fired bolts from afar. That could at least weaken some shields that we know they have.
You know what? I can always find what I need, right?
Hmm?
I can
Oh.
always find what I need.
It's not what you need. It's the tools of your. It's your tools basically. You're always able to find items of quality 0 for if you lose some of the ones that you usually have. So, for example, you're going to get very lucky and always find equipment to repair your your marionettes, your puppets, or you're always going to find a battle axe level 0 if you lose your Lawbringer battle axe.
Yeah.
But it's not. I always conveniently find every single object I need. It's the.
Well, not. But I was thinking, I could use that to like procure 2 or 3 crossbows with a few bolts for the crew. But
The crew already had crossbows. They were shooting down the drones in the previous fight.
I didn't know if they were still good. I didn't know if we were able to bring them or not.
Yeah, they have their weapons with them. So
Awesome. Then, if we do bring them, which might be a good idea, they can focus on destroying the crystals.
Just like Gabriella suggested the previous time.
Mm-hmm. The previous fight.
The question
that would
is,
be their sole job.
The question is, what? We don't really have a plan to complete our objective, but we're still going to need to do this. One of the things that I could do is that I could try to draw a large part of the force away from Círdan if I showed my powers at the fishing village, which is where most of the technocrats stay and work. I would be able to draw out the most of their force away from the island. I can just run. I can just cancel my weight and run on water away from Círdan. Hopefully, I run fast enough that they don't catch me.
you would
Well-
only risk yourself more in getting captured. I suggest that you completely lay low and don't even join in this battle. You're too big of an asset to them.
All right, I think that is wise as well.
Well,
Is everyone okay with that?
I
think,
am. So
I think Captain Florentino is he's not looking like very confident going into like this major battle without the strongest character in the group. But yeah, he just doesn't like say it out loud. But he
Well,
does have fear in his eyes.
I'm gonna roll leadership if you allow me to.
Yes.
I'm gonna say. By the way, my Roll20 has been loading. Sorry, because my computer had to restart for some reason.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that I know that we're losing a very strong asset of ours. However, what he is for combat strength in our group is tenfold asset-wise to the machines. He's a key component that is needed versus a strong warrior on our side. I believe that it's possible for us to beat this without the assistance, especially after I've seen everyone training.
I have also given instructions to Willow. If Damien Gill enters the fray and we can't and he can't be convinced to leave it for our safety, well, she'll send up a magical spell into the sky that I'll be able to see from a distance, and that will be my signal that it won't make the situation worse for me to intervene. You can always ask her to send that spell if the situation becomes if I become needed to the point where it doesn't matter if there's a risk that they catch me. I've also found something else out, and this is very important information for us to know. The machine has always had a weakness to magic spells. They're very weak to resisting the effects of spells and magical effects, which is why Willow could potentially be one of the people who can do the most damage to them, and also the gloves that Roy uses could definitely be a major asset, but that also makes them the people who are most likely to be targeted by the machine.
Would it be outrageous for us to use your power to lure them and set up an ambush using Roy? We fared pretty well against them when they had the upper hand.
We, as I mentioned before, there's about 100 technocrats just in the fishing village, which means, and I know there's some other components in the machine inside of the mines, because they would be. It's unlikely that they would leave the mother unprotected, even if it is indestructible. It could still be impaired or transported out in some way. So there's probably more than them. Their force is too great for us to take on in a fight. We have to find a way to deactivate the mother without a full-on fight.
Well, that may make necessity a distraction anyways. Not for my purposes, but if we're going into the mother's resting place and there are 100 technocrats, that may be too many.
Indeed.
How big of a lightning can you create?
GM has to look for the answer. Arcana accept. Okay, so electromagnetism.
I'm kind of hoping it's basically Attack on Titan's lightning bolt. If you've seen that anime.
He describes he describes that he's able to consistently create an electricity arc that would be half as destructive as your axes.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, but what size and how far could you see it?
I could project it from quite a distance. It would be visible from all over the island if I was trying to draw attention to myself.
I nod. If Willow shoots up that that spell that makes the marker in the air, I want you to do that. Make a lightning that is on the very, very edge of the beach, away from everything, as
All right.
big as you can.
You want
That will.
you want me to draw them in that direction by using electricity in a supernatural way. And if I make it take an interesting shape, they're sure to come in this direction.
I nod.
I
That
would
will
like
make it so that instead of you being hunted, as well, just you being hunted, you would divert forces, meaning that we would have less to deal with and you would have less to deal with.
In case you become overwhelmed at any point, or if in case you need to draw their forces somewhere, we can do this.
I nod.
All right.
I would like to briefly ask. You mentioned tunnels under the island. Do they only lead from the Count's estate to wherever the mother is, or are there other entrances that we might be able to use?
The only entrances I know to the underground, where I know the mother is, are from the quarry, where the island is used to mine for chalk. This I don't know how deep the tunnels go, and I don't know how dangerous it will be. I don't know much about that terrain, but what I do know is that I read about the fact that all of the mothers that have been found were buried underground, deep underground, which means that it's our most likely bet is the quarry as the place where the mother is kept. And I have seen a lot of machine activity around the entrance to the quarry. Okay.
All right. By the way, I rolled a very difficult.
That was pretty good. I saw that.
You're trying to reassure
Share everyone and take control of the situation.
All right. Current leadership tends to be used during the moment, during the action. Currently, you can get more points by using strategy if you want.
Yeah, no, I don't have strategy, but you also said to roll it earlier, and I haven't been able to roll it till now.
It's definitely enough to assuage their fears, and they won't have the fear modifier at any point during the fight.
Nice.
In fact, like as a horde, they're going to count as organized, which gives them a +10 to all of their actions that they undertake.
Nice.
Okay.
I think I'll be the one to pick up strategy, unless you want to as well, B.
No, it all depends on where I go from here. But it'll be all right. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
All good.
Gray turns to Gabriella. and he says, "There's we are going to need your skills up ahead. Wherever we go, where there are too many enemies, your abilities to your ability to move stealthily will be could be vital to reach key objectives. There's much we could learn from the machine base inside of the manor where the Count's study is, and the quarry itself could be full of agents of the machine that you'd need to infiltrate. Until they're on high defense mode, you might be able to get into a lot of places without being detected. So we do have to take into consideration that a stealthy approach with you would be one of our best bets.
Yeah, I can go scout it out, sure.
All right. So, how? What's our first objective? Do we want to go directly to the quarry, or go to one of the other two places first?
Quarry would most likely be best. That would allow us the most direct positioning because it's likely down there. And if we go to the other places and draw forces, they're only going to reinforce the quarry and send more towards us.
All right. Does everyone agree with this?
I agree with it. I don't think that we should spend much time trying to convince the Count of the error of his ways.
I just have one question for you.
Hmm?
You talk about how dangerous if you get captured, Inquisitor.
Yes.
And so, if you do get captured, should we make sure that they can't use you?
Yes. If I do get captured and I don't find a way to end my own life, you should definitely try to make sure they can't use my powers.
Not a problem. Just as long as your Dryad friend knows that that's what you want.
Should we?
Willow, who's present during this talk, turns to the High Inquisitor and she seems to realize for the first time that she could lose him, and you can see like tears forming at the corner of her eyes. But then Emmett just puts his mechanical hand on her head and says, "Don't worry, everything will be all." And then he powers down.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn to the Inquisitor and I'm gonna ask him, if for some reason you are captured, should we risk non-lethal saving?
Well,
Depends on whether they've injected me with a larva yet or not. No, there's no record of anybody ever coming back from being implanted with a larva that was connected to the machine. Their minds were gone forever.
Hey, this larva, how much do you know about it?
He points towards Luca and says, "I was able to map the circuitry inside of this inside of it, and I'm also able to sense the electromagnetic currents that pass through people's nerves and through the machines. So I've been able to observe our enemies with this ability very well. I'm able to understand how it works and some of its programming. And the fact yes.
And this is organic larva?
These are all of the larvas are mechanical. They're basically he points to the thing that Luca got, which is the thing that goes onto that can like latch onto someone's spine to transform them into a technocrat.
Ah,
They are the main component of the machine. So I know that there's some very rare larvas called technocrats. Praetorian larvas that transform someone into a much more dangerous agent of the machine. And there's also some creatures called carriers that can be made by assembling a lot of larvas onto a single onto a few individuals, merging them all together into a ship. Very dangerous ship.
Do they have any of those here on the island?
I have never seen one here. I don't believe that they've have. I don't believe they've had time to create a new one. But I don't know what's buried under the island either. So. Emmett points towards the larva that Luca had in his bag, and he says, "This it would seem from what I have analyzed that this device is a human-machine interface. It seems to have been made in order simply to connect the machine to its components, and based on its design, it looks like it was meant as a human-friendly device that somehow ended up transforming them into the technocrats. This is a very strange malfunction, but and from what I can tell of the design, it seems that the machine itself is not working to its intended purpose. It's not as optimized for combat and for conquering as it looks, but it seems to be its end goals for some reason.
Well, given what we have at hand, I think our honestly best solution would be to make a distraction and launch a full-out assault on the mother's den with everything that we can muster there. And obviously that will put our teacher at risk, but hopefully we can get the job done before it can bring him back.
So
I still believe.
So we still get him to. So we still get me to throw the lightning up in the air to get their forces to split towards me to capture me. All right.
I believe that is best. That we wait until we know when it is needed. That way we don't have them on high alert instantly. But instead, when they do become high alert, then we basically split their forces, making their high alert harder to maintain.
Gabriella?
Sure, sounds good.
All right. Then, in which case, you should probably scout ahead of everyone. That's the way we can make use of your skills for you to tell us what the enemy's movements are up ahead. They do have drones flying over most of the island at stronger and stronger intervals the closer one gets to the manor. So you'll have to be very careful not to be spotted. And once you are, you'll have to hurry up.
By the way, I still have that one dagger dipped in poison, correct, Gabriella?
Should, yeah.
Okay. I have not used it. I just want to make sure that that's something I can still use.
Yep.
Okay, good.
So we're going, this is the quarry here on the south of the little bunker?
It would appear the quarry is this part.
I was gonna say
that's the fishing village.
Okay.
The High Inquisitor Rhodes apologizes for his awful drawing skills.
Well, it's sand. That's okay. So we don't need to scout out the fishing village. We want to check out first what.
The quarry seems to be since that's where the mother is. That's going to be where we go to first.
What's this little hut up here?
This is the manor. This is where the Count Augustus Reed has his where he stays and where his study is. He studied he studied the machine for a very long time, and he's now trying to awaken it. I believe a lot of information on the machine could be found there, but that it's also quite protected. So it's the place that has drones patrolling it all of the time. So infiltrating this place might be difficult. Taking it by force might be possible.
If I am honest, most likely the best thing that we could do is attack both places at once. In order to shut down the machine, we're going to need the information from the manor, I'm sure. Plus, if we can get the gentleman who is causing this on our side, then that could be a huge bonus to us.
Are you suggesting we split our forces into two and have each group attempt one of the different objectives? One group tries to take the quarry by force, and the other group tries to take the information at the manor?
I nod. If that is the case, then I would need you in battle by my side. I would like to go with you and Captain Florento to the quarry. I believe that half of Captain Florento's men, Luca and El, should go there, go to the manor.
You're suggesting I go directly to where the mother is?
If we're splitting the attacks, then that would most likely be best.
I think you... So Emmett says, you are forgetting me. I'm also quite a valuable fighter, and I could also be helpful at the quarry without needing to risk Rhodes' capture.
You would be... Well, for one, I don't want you damaged, to be honest. But that's just a side note. But you are... And do not take this the wrong way, I apologize. But I cannot word it any other way that I can think of right now. You are useful until you're not. You have a limited time in combat.
That is unfortunately correct, but I can. But during that short time, I can be very helpful, and my primary purpose would most likely be to protect Willow, whose abilities with magic could be quite an advantage.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, good. For you, Willow, I suggest that you hold off using your magic. Make sure that you always have enough Xeon for the flare spell, for sure. And healing would be useful, and only use offensive magic when it's severely needed, such as a bigger enemy. I doubt that the techno crits are the only thing that is on this island.
She nods and she says, "I'll the group I'll go with will I'll make sure to heal them very well."
I nod.
Okay.
Just make sure that you do not overuse your Xeon. You need to conserve as much as you can.
You can see the High Inquisitor smiling with a sort of like, a satisfied smile to see you giving advice to a supernatural creature after a couple of days of training with him. So, in order to summarize the current plan, we would have Captain Florentino and his men, Gabriela and Luca, head off to the Count's manor, and MF, Willow, and Al and Roy head off to the quarry. That's
I don't know that. Actually, no, he's not going to say that. Go. That
how
seems like a
many,
reasonable split up to me.
How many people are in under Captain Florento currently?
30 people under Captain Florentino's command.
I'd like
37.
to take 15 with me. I'd like to be able to not focus on the crystals and focus on what moves instead.
All right, that seems I'll have 15 of my men support you. Does that plan sound good to everyone?
Yes.
I don't know if splitting them in is a good idea, but I don't think this plan is unreasonable.
All right, then we should. Then I think we should set this into motion. All right. I think you should split the group when you get close enough to the manor, and but when you've reached, by the time you've reached it, there's a very good chance that the drones will have spotted you. So Emmett and Al can just book it for the.
How tall is Emmett?
I do believe that. Let's see.
Like comparatively to Al?
I'm looking him up. Blah blah blah.
Because
He is. He's twice as tall as a normal human. He has a size 25 enormous.
Okay, so he's about as tall as Al, I think?
I believe he's about as tall as Al. Yes.
All right.
There's a pause, and Captain Florentino turns to you and says, "That's right. Both of you could make it onto a rowboat, or simply go underwater with Willow allowing you to breathe underwater. That could allow you to circumvent having to go through the island and be spotted. You could have a very stealthy approach this way."
The only thing about it is if I was to... I would be unable to fight with Roy as well. And I would be unable to help the group until I resurface.
That's if you bring Roy with you, once you reach the surface once again, you'd be able to find with him again, right?
Repeat that?
If you bring Roy with you, and once you go back to the surface, you'd be able to fight with both of them again, right?
Correct. Yes.
So
I would be unable to support the group with Roy if Al is underwater. Roy is an extension of me, and I need to be able to see. DM, that's a good question. Do I need to be able to see to fight with Roy?
I believe you.
Yes. The keynote is the only reason why I don't know about it.
Yeah, I think you still need to have a line of sight on what you're trying to do with him for at least for combat actions.
Okay, gotcha. Just making sure.
Okay.
Possibly, maybe in the future, if I get key sense, could I possibly use Keynode? The Keynode as a bounce board to see.
As a way to project your key senses, yes, definitely.
Okay.
All right.
We'll talk about that in the future to make more of that. But as of right now, I need to be able to see what Roy is doing. So I can use Roy at a long distance, but it's much more difficult.
Underwater. Willow says,
But I
ma- uh,
can see it.
maybe you could attach the Roy's strings to Emmet or to Roy and have one of them drag you behind them. Have one of them drag Roy behind underwater.
Oh, I'm not worried about carrying around Roy. I'm worried about not being able to support the group that's going through.
All right. Emmett
Because-
says most agents of the machine avoid going underwater. Most likely encounters are drones, and they are unlikely to be to come across, and we are unlikely to come across them. There's very few chances we'll encounter a position before we reach the quarry. I believe this plan has us at 95% chance reaching the quarry without having encountered any resistance.
I draw a line in the sand, and
Okay.
I say that would be the sort of angle that I would want to go, because I would want to get out of the water as close as possible to the quarry. But you guys would be on your own the whole time.
I think, yeah. Rhodes says if it allows us to make it to both objectives more easily and more stealthily, it should work, because you and Emmett are the biggest and loudest targets, members of our group. If you went with the rest of the group, it would be easier to spot. The other aspect is that if you go by sea like this, you can't take any men with you. Is that fine by you?
Wait, hold on, explain that.
If you go underwater, you can't take any of Florentino's men with you.
Oh, yeah, no. They'll be going down the regular, let me.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it's wise to send 15 sailors on the road alone towards the quarry.
So.
Better to send all of them
To be honest, it's the best we're gonna do.
If that's the case, they would probably be best going with us to the mansion.
You think so?
Yeah, Grey Roads agrees.
If they're primarily here to help us deal with drones and technocrats after they've been defeated, they probably would not see much use.
What's the distance between the manor and the quarry?
Okay. Give me 1 second to check out the map.
In the quarry, we're going to have plenty of enemies that have crystals, and I don't want to keep killing things because I'm too focused on killing the ones that are moving and possible to attack.
Willow says, I can smash them with a rock.
I don't want you getting that close, Willow.
The reason I'm wondering about the distance is because we could take them all with us to the manor, and then once the fight at the manor begins, the 15 that you want to come help you can then, when we're creating a distraction by the fight, those 15 can run to the quarry.
Mm-hmm. That was the plan. That's my plan.
Then we would get into a fight, and the enemy would see 15 men running, splitting from the group, and going on their own down towards the mother. They would probably be targeted even before we were.
Well, hopefully they wouldn't just go out in the open and yell and scream and draw attention to them.
Considering the enemy has the power of flight, I don't know if we'd be able to hide from them on this island.
So,
Okay.
you guys get there. Your group gets there the 15 in Willow gets here. Meanwhile, Al and what is the other robot again?
MF.
Emmett, go there. MS. Okay. MS, we go like that.
If my 15 men my 15 men will be useful whether or not they are intercepted on their way to the quarry, because at the very least they could distract the elements of the machine away from our two objectives, who could try to intercept them, and and they could disperse from there. Even if they don't get caught, they'd be able to reach the quarry and help you out. So
I know. Are the 30 men listening right now, by the way?
no, they're more towards the back, but there's a slight change in the mood when you start talking like this, because everybody can feel that those men might die. You might be using them like pawns to win this war.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm worried about. I'm gonna lead in, and I'm gonna, say quieter. Yes, and I understand that. Willow, if she goes underwater with us, she would be protected, but she would waste more Xeon. Meanwhile, if she goes with the 15, she could.
I cannot move if I am too far away from Willer, even on my low energy mode.
All right, then the 15 men would have to go alone, but they would be reaching with us. If the 15 men are spotted, I need them to turn and rush towards here. I can't promise how long the men will survive, and I promise no assistance to them. But we need to, if that happens, divert forces as much as possible.
If I may interject, I think it would be just as good a distraction to have more men at the mansion than it would be to have several men running around in the wilderness.
And less chaos for us. Rose says, I also think that the Captain Florentino's men should stay grouped, and you should find another way to deal with the drone's crystals.
All right.
All right.
That's losing a lot of potential damage to those who move, but all right.
All right. Let's go with this plan then. We're ready. Everybody is prepared. So let's move out. Captain Florentino gets up, and he's going to start giving orders to his men. You see him saying that we don't know what our attitude towards the Count Raig is going to be, but we will follow the lead of the Inquisitors, that whether or not we are hostile or friendly towards him. The others are going to be leading an attack on a vital point. I can't tell you what it is, because some of you might get captured, but know that we have made a great plan that is very likely to grant us victory. And he starts to motivate his men. He's not that strong at leadership, so one of you, but thanks to Roy's previous check, they are going to get bonuses during the fight. Okay.
Like an 11-year-old. 11-year-old is like, all right, motherfuckers.
Okay. You start to move out, each in your own group, making your way some towards the manor, and some walking at the bottom of the ocean towards the quarry. With the
Out of curiosity,
yes.
how much percentage-wise does Willow have left for Xeon?
She's at the maximum at the start of this encounter, and using the spell to breathe underwater is daily, so it doesn't spend an enormous amount of her Xeon to cast it on you, and and she's using her innate magic to keep feeding to keep feeding Emmett constant electricity, but that's only him in low power mode, basically.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So, you encounter no one while both of the metal giants are walking at the bottom of the sea. But as for the others, as you make your way closer and closer to the to your objective, the swarm the swarm of drones above your head start to become, the groups of drones that are flying overhead become more and more regular, to the point where you're pretty sure they must have spotted your group, but you've sent. But they don't move into attack. But you've sent Gabriella ahead to scout. So Gabriella, can you roll stealth for me?
Yes, but first of all, before we get close enough to
Mhm.
where we're actually encountering their drones, along the way, I'm going to plot a path utilizing what cover we do have, and I'm going to have them move from point to point while I go ahead and scout and let them know when it's clear for them to move up from one point to another to minimize any chance of being actually spotted from
Gotcha.
overhead.
It is a lot of fields throughout this island, so it is so it's hard to move from one. So it's like they have to move very quickly from one point to another to not be spotted. But you, with your younger and tinier body, you're able to make your way through the fields that haven't been harvested yet this year. The fields are still there's all of the plants are growing very high, despite the fact that they should probably have been by now, because I think we are in June. Yep.
Okay. So do you want me to do a hide or a stealth first?
So stealth is to move to move stealthily, and hide is when you're is for creating a sniper spot or creating a spot where you can stay for a while long. So roll a stealth, please.
Nice.
Okay. Drones have a notice of 50, so
Good.
it's easy for them to notice a group, but it's much harder for them to notice individuals like you. Okay. No, wait, that's not what here we go. So yes, the drones are unable to spot you. Do you leave markings behind, on trees and stuff like this, to point to the direction that the group that's following you should follow after you, or do you wait for them every time? Jeff?
Mark of the Inquisition. Mark of the Inquisition.
I think you might be muted, Jeff.
Oh, okay. I won't leave marks per se, but what I will do is at certain points I will press the grass down so that it is pointing in the direction that I'm moving from that point.
Nice.
I do have a decent amount of notice and track if that will help me
Yes.
notice these.
And you would know that this is how we do this. So,
Okay.
but this way, if the drones see it, they're not going to see anything that wouldn't already naturally be there anyway.
All right. Okay. Well, your characters are a bit too tall.
I like it. I like giants. This was a mini manor.
Luca's gonna break the door down.
Ah,
By the way, everyone should have a boosted their life points by either 5 or 10, depending on their class. Wait, stop moving your characters while I'm trying to resize them.
Sorry. Also, I improved mine by 20. I will have you know.
Oh, nice. So
I only did 5.
Wait. Roy doesn't have hard to kill at all. He's a robot.
he is a Rubit.
Okay, so you get to see this manor, this small mansion from quite a distance, and on the front lawn you see someone who's just taking tea at a table that's large enough to accommodate 30 people. You arrive, in fact, to see drones putting down saucers and things like this in front of the house, and there's a man, what looks to be like a man from a distance in armor. When you get closer, this is what he looks like, and yes, he's sitting in the tallest chair and just sipping tea while watching in the horizon for where your group is most likely to come from by the time you're finished at this point. But he has not spotted you at all, and there's trees all around his house. The drones, there seem to be about 20 of them just hovering around the manor, observing it. But so far, since their patterns of movements are very predictable, you've been able to evade them perfectly. So what does Gabriella do?
I'm going to watch the manor. I'm going to look for any signs of anything else, maybe that's keep trying to stay hidden while observing what's going on down here.
All right.
Like not wanting to reveal itself.
Go ahead and make a notice check. It's going to be a difficulty 120. Oh, that's really good. So you don't notice any movement coming from anywhere in the windows, from inside the house, but you do notice that this row of what's it called? Windows give into what looks to be a well-furnished library. It seems to be the brightest spot in the house, that has a lot of light coming in for reading, apparently. And yeah, so you do know where the books are in this place, based from your notice. But there is nobody else inside that is moving around or doing anything that you could notice. So what do you do?
Once I feel that I have seen what I'm going to be able to see, I will sneak back to the group to apprise them of the situation.
All right. You start heading back to the group, and you can see that the group now has 2 drones flying in circles above where they are when you like you haven't reached them yet, but they definitely have drones that are like just staring down at them now. Luca, you have two drones that seem to have spotted you with certitude. What do you do?
While traveling, I am going to casually shoot them with crossbows.
Okay.
Say, boys, look, sport.
All right. Go ahead and roll to do your attack maneuver. They are trying to stay at a distance of 100 or 100 feet. I think you can still reach them, but you need to reach a sufficient attack to do this. Okay.
Yeah. I have reached it, I do believe.
Okay. Do you get the other people that are here that have crossbows to help you out with this?
Oh yeah. I have pointed them out, and I say, just we're not the stealthy party. If we see any of them looking at us, take out any that we see.
Okay. All right. I have a penalty because I'm getting shot by other crossbows. So you are able to do 110% of your weapon's damage.
That'll be 55.
Okay. You roll roll 55. Please. Roll plus 55 because you did a critical. Okay. And
A few small rolls to start the day, but it'll go up, I'm sure.
okay. It's you you hit it straight to the body and it's still able to fly somehow. You realize soon enough as you when you attack them that you take down one and then the other one is going to fly upwards higher to try to be out of range of the crossbow while keeping while still observing you, but you're not sure it can see you as well now. Yes, do you do anything? There's also a second one that comes in from the direction of the manor that starts circling as well. They're still connected to each other by very thin threads of telepathic psychic powers. So, what do you do?
All right. Well, first of all, did I down that one?
No.
Okay.
But like after it probably isn't it probably isn't able to reach the same altitude as the other one, and I think your group shoots it down, but another one comes to replace it. Is what happens.
All right. That's fine. I will surely alert them. I'll tell them, go make sure that crystal is destroyed.
Yeah.
And I will say that this will just sort of be their sport on the way. If they see one, if they think it's in range, they will take shots.
Okay.
Now that is assuming that we have a decent supply of ammunition. If we think we may anyone may run out, I will tell them to conserve and just continue walking.
They're going to try to get the bolts back when they miss or when they down one of them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
But we are firing straight up in a forest.
Yeah. So there is a chance of hitting the branches on the way up or on the way down.
Well, also there's a good chance of it just flying 300 feet in a direction and getting lost.
Yeah. Gabriella, when you arrive and you see that the group is under observation, do you take the risk of going back to them physically all the way, or do you do something else?
I'm so magnificent, there's no risk, but I sneak back so the drones don't see me rejoining the group.
Okay. Can you make another stealth check? And this time it's going to be just a bit more difficult because they bi- um, they're gonna have
Ah, shoot! I forgot to do my story thing.
your story thing.
Yeah, I was talking to you about the shield.
Oh,
We
yes.
don't need to retroactively do that. We can say that's something for next time.
We can have a very short flashback right now of those events happening. If you, I like it wouldn't be a problem at all, and I think it was a very interesting addition to your character's role playing. So, do you, want us to do that as a flashback of while you were training during that time?
If you guys would not mind, I'll say it very briefly. After his walk with our teacher, Luca he's never been very talkative, but he became especially contemplative and quiet. And in between sessions with Emmett while he was repaired, he spent a lot of time out by the water. And one day, when he returned, if I may presume the talk with the sailors too,
Yeah.
he did not have his shield on his arm, but instead a sort of well-rounded and sturdy wooden plank.
That seemed to that had a couple of shells on it, as if it was part of a boat,
Yes, indeed.
as if it had been part of a boat. So yeah, he came back from one of his walks without his lawbringer given to him by the church. Would your characters have talked to him about this, or just not address that aspect?
I look at the plank with my key stuff to see if I can perceive it's having a supernatural or magical ability.
Does you also have see supernatural, so you would be able to detect some things. Luca, is there anything special about your new shield?
No, it has a couple of mollusks on it, which you can probably sense with key.
Did you lose your toy?
Excuse me.
Did you lose your toy?
Are you talking about my lawgiver?
Yes.
It's not a toy. And after a talk, I've decided it might not be worth using.
Oh. What did you do with it?
It is buried. As all things of evil should be, if not destroyed.
I suppose you know best.
He'll nod his head slowly and continue training.
The drones aren't going to be able to notice you coming back or going away again based on their role. So yeah, just one question: would Edward have done anything concerning the loss of Lucas's Lawbringer? You might be muted.
He does seem to be muted. Excuse me.
Yes, I am. Okay. He will make a note about it and kind of motion over, making a shield in his hands.
Are you trying to get my attention with this?
Yes.
He looks at you very quizzically for a moment, and
The owl just holding up his hand like a shield.
it's not necessary for me.
If I may ask, for what reason?
Something was revealed to me about how our lawgivers are made.
Oh?
I think to use them denotes a lack of faith. And so I've decided to give mine up.
Hmm. Curious. Very well. I wish to know this information if you would partake.
Well, from what I was told, and he has no problem sharing this with Roy because while things are real weird with Roy, he's also sort of as inquisitorial as they come, it seems.
But if
Our
I recall,
lawgivers-
wasn't this told in front of everyone?
No, this was on a beachside stroll with our High Inquisitor friend.
Oh, okay.
And he'll say, lawgivers are made of the energy of deceased supernatural beings. That's what I was told, right?
They're made from the blood of supernatural creatures. A lot of them gain their powers from that blood or from different artifacts. And that was told in front of everybody when you said you were going to bring the crystal cross back to the Dominion. You were told that it would probably be used to create another weapon for
Yes.
the
Yes.
Gotcha.
So anyways, they are used as the blood of supernatural creatures, beings, and objects, some blessed, others evil. And
Well, yes, that's.
I
what
no
happens
longer
when
wish
you
to use it
mess
as a
with the blood.
crutch. What?
That's what happens when you mess with the blood. But fair enough. I can understand your reasoning. My axe has proved very useful, so I cannot throw it away.
Useful.
But what have you? Huh?
I said useful. But I cannot help but wonder, such marvelous objects make us lax, make us underestimate our own innate capacities and the benefits of faith.
You see Al open up, and, Edward comes out. Then fight me as myself.
Excuse me?
A combat. A little duel. I wish to see your training.
I will not strike a child.
It is not striking a child, it is a combat. It's a duel.
So this
Besides-
flashback is turning into a fight. So I'm going to put you back. Do you want this happens at the beach or in front of Willow's tree?
The beach, probably.
Okay.
I'd say the beach. Pretty. Plus, we haven't used that map yet, I don't think.
Yep.
Actually, Edward doesn't have a token, does he?
Yeah, there's no token for Edward, but I can add one really quickly.
Yes, please.
It's gonna be small, like L.
Yeah, it's gonna be really small. Actually, I think he's gonna be smaller than Al. Or L. But... Anyways. I'm not a child. I may have the body of one, but... if you call me a child and will not partake in hitting me as you would another Inquisitor, then you are just disrespecting my title.
I wouldn't strike another Inquisitor. We are comrades against evil.
And that's why I'm not challenging you to a real duel, but instead a regular one.
I fail to see the point in this. He sort of raises his hands.
You see wires just go right, barely missing you, but just going around you.
Alright.
Or actually, you might not see them because they're regular. Oh my god, I'm tiny. No, I'm not that tiny.
Actually, with my notice score, as long as I don't fumble, I am only partially blinded. But I mean, I might fumble, so mine. I'll roll real quick. I can see them. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a good one. That's right for him.
It's pretty funny. I like it. Yeah, you see wires just go just past you. Not swinging at you, obviously, just
Yeah.
outlining you.
All right. Do you
I
wish
don't
to fight with
spend-
weapons?
This is probably... How long did we have to train, by the way?
You had like 4 days.
Okay, yeah, so this is probably the second day in so that we can just be full healed and etc, etc.
Oh boy. Here we go.
I nod.
Um,
I only have an hour, so let's not draw this out.
This is vast. This is very quickly becoming ridiculous.
yeah.
What do you...
Luca, are you going to actually take part in this fight? And you can both try to just not attack, but just stop just before you're about to hit someone by putting somebody at weapons point. That is a maneuver that is at a minus 100, and and if you pass it, it usually determines that you would have won the fight, basically.
Luca is like I was keeping track of that. I wasn't going to use like a lethal blow or anything. And he's not drawing his weapon now.
I was thinking that we would just deal damage, but we wouldn't deal the final hit. It would go into a yield.
But then we would have to regenerate.
The thing is that Luca heals 10 life points per day, and you have 20 life points per day. You have 2 more days, so if you deal anything that's more than 40 damage, which you could if you don't try to hold back, you might be wounded for the final fight.
Oh no! Willow can heal and she regens her Xeon.
Yes, but she doesn't have unlimited Xeon. Since she's been using Xeon to power Emmett so that you could train with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know how much she's used though. How many heals could she do?
Like in the short amount of time of your training, 1. She'd be able to heal 20 life points.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, but the thing about it is, if we do at weapons point, then we would get nowhere because our defenses are too good.
Yes.
Well, it is true. We do both have great defense.
And
so,
but putting someone at weapons points doesn't take armor into consideration, and it's also the safest way to fight if that's what you're if you're trying to just see who's like I don't like. Okay, so what is the point that Edward is trying to make? Are you trying to convince him to use to get his shield back because he wouldn't be strong enough without it? Are you?
Oh no, there's no point. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to show that I don't rely on my Lawbringer. I use my puppets, but only because they're a weapon for me.
Okay.
My skill is my own, and he should see that as well. He should see his skill as his own. Now, if he goes and gets his Lawbringer back, good for him. But that's up to him.
I really love that to show him that you're only using your own skill and not your Lawbringer. You're instead going to rely only on your artifact called the Witch's Hands.
Actually, I'm not even using my artifact.
You need to
regular strings.
You don't have regular strings.
My ability allows me to.
The string weapon that you have comes from the witch's hands. You don't have cables apart from that.
Yes, I know, but my ability allows me to find them. Plus, I would assume that I would have a
Oh,
there.
strings.
Oh, you mean the Noah thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I would.
Here's the problem. It states specifically that you only get equipment that is of +0 quality, and strings need to be of +5 quality to use
shoot.
that Ars Magnus through it. So you would need to use the witch's hands to fight. You could still find like other weapons, and you could still find the strings. It's just they don't have enough quality to be used properly.
These are all
Oh.
like ways I'd never thought I'd hear these rules used, though. So I'm excited.
Then sure, I'll just use my witch's hands.
Okay.
But yeah, he can. To be honest, it's basically the same thing for him.
I thought you were gonna punch me. I was like, "Oh man, getting in a brawl with this 10-year-old. This is gonna be weird."
All right. If we want to do this, then I think if both of your characters are agreeing to this fight, we should just roll for initiative. Is Gabriella going to intervene and try to stop this fight from happening, or? Jeff, you might be muted, or not here.
If we'd like to, while Jeff is returning, we could like sort of speed roll and just describe in dramatic sense how the fight goes over this, of course, a few turns.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's
It's also you'll be the first to actually see my
True
my
form.
my true form.
All right.
Okay, so wait a second. I have hold on. So this is
I would not be opposed to waiting for Jeff to.
yeah.
If you may, I'm saying this.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. I might have used the wrong initiative.
Oh, well, I'll roll initiative. Willow.
Yes, my initiative is actually higher than that. My initiative would be a whole 15 higher, I believe. Yeah, 15 higher.
There's my initiative.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you already know about the wires, so you're not going to take any negatives from that.
It's true. Otherwise.
Oh wait, shit. Are we putting at weapons point? I forgot to ask.
Well, like this is sort of like whatever he would think to do. I know that Luca isn't even drawing his weapon. He's gonna try to use like non-lethal attacks.
Gotcha.
So roll to see. I think you need to. I'm pretty sure you only have to roll to see the strings once.
Yes,
Yeah, I
that
do.
is
Just
correct.
want to fight.
Then I will make that a trapping. And how much is the negative for trapping? Because I half it.
Do you? Oh yeah. You yeah.
Oh, that's your attack.
Trapping would be a -40.
Does
It's a -20. So 199.
all right. So unless Jeff's interfering, I'm going to block.
Okay.
199.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll to block that trapping maneuver, which would be at 179.
No,
Barely.
It's half.
Oh yeah. So you still
Right.
get put on the defensive by this attack because it's actually 199.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, 189. Yeah. So yeah, you
By the
are.
way,
Hmm?
I was accumulating.
Okay. So you
My fault.
you start accumulating. If you do nothing else, it has to be a because Luca is put on the defensive. It's a new turn. Go ahead and roll for
Initiative.
initiative, both of you.
All right.
I finish my accumulation and I bust out my technique.
Okay.
I
you
have rolled nothing over a 20 so far today.
So since you are using your technique this turn, you do get your bonus to initiative this turn. Can you describe to us what your technique looks like as we talked about it, and also Gabriella, you're witnessing this duel. Are you going to let it happen, or do you want to intervene, or go and get somebody to intervene, or anything else?
No, they both willingly entered the duel, so I'm just watching it, laughing, because had I participated, they would have both already been drugged and knocked out at this point, so they can be boys.
There's only one turn. Poisons take 3 turns to activate.
Depends on the poison, but yeah, go. So can you roll for initiative for Edward, please?
Yes, give me 1 minute. Let me just make sure, because the thing also isn't working right now.
What thing?
Oh, also we decided we were gonna get rid of that and do the other thing. What was the elemental thing called? Elemental link or something like that?
Oh, okay. I really thought you had
That's the one thing that I need to
yeah, okay.
change.
I pinged your I pinned the details of the technique that we did in our chat, so you should have it available. It's an elemental technique, which means it relies on air. In our private chat, it's one of the on Discord. It's one of the pinned messages. You should have all of the details there.
I was saying, like, when we were talking about that privately, I was saying, you could totally just get a free MK that way, but I don't know if Patrick would like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so as the second round starts, because at the start of the second round, I accumulate my second round key, right?
Yes.
So I'm able to bust it out. All right.
You're able to use the technique and get the bonus to initiative at the beginning of the round, since you are going to activate the technique this turn.
Awesome. That's 288.
Okay.
I can't add the 100 because it's being weird.
Yeah,
that surprises me.
You should put it in special when your technique does activate. You have so you surprise Luca. Luca has minus 92. The first defense roll that he has to make this turn.
By the way,
as you see me start getting more serious, you see sand start swirling around me and electricity coming off into the air. Have you ever seen Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
When Gohan first goes Super Saiyan 2.
Okay, I think I know what that one. His aura is always very yellow and blue.
Yes, but basically it's just the electricity. I'll find a gift for you guys eventually.
Yeah, you have electricity, a little bit of electricity coming out of you, and a lot of wind blowing away from you when you're using this technique. Okay, and it gives you a bonus to your attack.
2 attacks is a minus 20, right?
Yes. Technically minus 25.
Minus 25?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do 2 trapping attacks.
Okay. So you're at minus 65 for both of them, but you have your bonus. Wait, no.
No.
You're at minus 45.
Yep.
I have been good. Match!
Did you take into account the minus 90 because you were surprised?
I did.
Okay.
Really?
It says Oh yeah, you only had 75.
I just typed in my roll. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I have 165 base.
Mhm.
All right, second trapping attack coming at you.
Okay.
However, you are going to be on the defensive. So.
I am, and I can't even attack you if you surprise me, anyways.
Okay.
Oh.
I didn't remember that detail of the rules. So since you,
That's what I've heard. I'm not gonna enforce that, obviously.
yeah, I wouldn't. If you only surprise the person, but you don't hit them, they can. I'd say they could still attack if they're not put on the defensive. But
That's a 300. It's not adding the 100 I'm adding to the specific. So I'll just keep track of it manually.
okay.
Meh. All right, so 300 initiative.
Okay. Luca, go ahead and roll as well. Luca, you can. There's
Predict.
Yeah, you can anticipate surprise, or you can and you can defend in a way where you will. You can anticipate surprise if you do this, and you can defend in a way where you won't be put on the defensive if you take the penalties.
What
That's
is
true.
that?
But he's trying to trap me, and my armor won't help me with that. And I know his dexterity is insanely high. Because Luca is not super smart, I will say one more turn before I start anticipating surprise.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an initiative.
Surprised?
Yes.
You get a plus
Is it
100, right?
300?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 300 versus 129. Awesome. Doing the same thing again. -5 for 2 trapping attacks.
And that, to anyone watching and to any of the players, is why the key technician class is overpowered, because you get access to techniques that can boost you way more than what any of the other combat classes can do.
And this is a weak technique, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lower end.
It's still a level 2
do you
technique.
get your +2 attack, by the way?
Yes, I remember I'm taking 2 attacks and it's trapping. So
Okay.
altogether I have a -45. My bonus is +40 and
Gotcha.
+100 initiative.
So yeah, he takes a -5 to his attack.
Alright. You
okay.
succeeded trapping.
He succeeded trapping by less than 100 points, so he has a -3 to his roll against to his characteristic roll, and you don't have any modifiers.
13 for Dex.
Match.
Rematch. Awesome.
Yep. Trapping rules. Go ahead and make your roll for your second attack. Yeah.
Whoop. Oh man, can I keep that roll?
Your roll would you it's plus 105 is what you meant?
Well, I meant to write 135, but I wrote 13.5.
Yeah, it's fine. Total. You can keep that roll. Okay, so you're once again put on the defensive, but able to defend anyways. This combat flashback is becoming is taking way longer than it's supposed to. But Luca keeps defending with his interesting new shield, and the shield is wide enough that he's able to push the strings away before they can ever trap him.
Here we go.
Awesome. I think you're gonna surprise me on this one.
No, I get capped at 320. I can't possibly surprise you, but I can make an attack finally.
Yeah, you can. You're the first to act. And wow, that is a couple of open rolls. That's good. Yeah, go ahead, Luca.
All right. The only good rolls you're gonna have is good.
Yeah, I had all the bad ones and all my good ones all at the same time. Luca is like constantly like shrugging off strings, and he nearly got his arm captured. He managed to just barely wiggle it out before they might have like gotten to the point of bone crushing. Not that you'd ever do that, but that's what he's seen you do. So he has this little spark of rage in him, and he is going to berserk and double fatigue a takedown maneuver.
Okay.
By the way, he should be over here.
All right. Takedown maneuver. Right here. Minus 30. The penalty increases to a minus 60 if a character tries this maneuver while wielding a weapon.
I'm using Taekwondo.
Does a shield count as a weapon?
Technically, yes, but he's using his Taekwondo kick, which gives him an extra attack for that, and that is enough.
I'm not using my shield to attack. I think that's only if you're attacking with the weapon.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I have to declare beforehand if I'm using that.
Oh, you open rolled.
Who
Huh?
open rolled?
No, that was for before. This is for my attack. So I succeed with a -3.
Okay.
You have to roll 1d10 plus strength or agility.
You passed by less than 100, which means that you must apply a -3 to your roll for your opposed check.
I did. I got it, and then I rolled a 1. And then he rolled a 9.
So Luca charges and tries to push this child down, but the child is agile enough. Edward is like rolls over to the side. Your feet are now in the water, and all of you can see like the wind blowing from Edward that is pushing the sea away slightly around where his feet are. Okay.
I would like to say, in addition, obviously I'm choosing not to cause damage with that.
Yeah.
Secondary attack, which will be considerably less. It is also a takedown.
Did you take a -20 during the first attack?
No, this is my Taekwondo attack. This is the additional attack I get for free.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh wait! Shoot! No, you're right.
You do have a penalty, but only to the Taekwondo attack, I believe.
I was goofy and assumed that you allowed people to use shields with martial arts. I don't even usually do that. Do you let people use?
Oh, absolutely. There's a great way to use shields with martial arts, so I do allow it.
Okay. Shoot. Yeah. I was like, oh no, I'm assuming things.
No,
let's see.
Go ahead.
This is a smaller one, but remember, you take a -30.
Got it.
Because it's the second attack that you're taking.
Man,
I do
suddenly
ravenous. Usually,
Have you been taking the -30s for the multiple attack?
No, it's a -20 for the Taekwondo extra attack.
This one is actually I'm not skilled enough in Taekwondo.
I'm saying for defense.
Yes, I have. But on the second one, I gain 60 from my first because I'm not surprised for the second attack. Okay, I think that is a failure.
But it puts me on the defensive. Well, both of them did. So
yeah.
All right, now we re-roll initiative.
Yeah.
Wait, were you still trying to take him down?
Yes.
Then you rolled higher than he did.
But the 20.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the absorption thing, and I don't know if that counts for takedowns, but that's up to Simon.
I think I'd let you make the characteristic roll. You're still at -3. And Edward has to make another agility roll with no penalties.
17!
Technically 18.
18!
Yep.
You get on the ground.
Okay, you've been, Edward is pushed onto the ground. Your head is still above the level of the water, but you now have the penalties of being, you have the special combat situation that you are from the ground. So you have -30 to attack, block, or dodge, and -10 to initiative. New initiative roll.
Now Luca will throw him like into the water, so like big splash, and he says, "Are we done? I fail to see the point in this."
290. All right.
Surprised.
Yeah, you're
And I'm
surprised.
also at a penalty because I'm raging.
Okay.
And it's a negative 30, right?
To what?
For the being whatever.
Yes, for being prone. Yes.
Can I stand up?
Y-
I've never found any rules. I've always just treated it as an active action unless somebody has enough acrobatics to kip up.
I think it would be better simply to say that Luca is on, like, basically has his foot on Edward, and he's stopping you from getting up unless if you manage to put him on the defensive, and then you'll be able to use another free action to get up if you are able to push him back.
Gotcha.
Oh, that won't be hard.
170.
I'm at negative 110, so I get a 5 to that.
You have the minus 90 of being surprised. Edward is really fast when using
Double fatigue again. Nope. Yeah, I'm on defensive, and you get a negative 3 trapping.
Gotcha. And it's dex for me?
It's either dexterity or strength, whichever is strongest for you.
If you roll low, I can make it. Nah, I'm partially.
Do you roll a 10 again?
Okay.
No, I already rolled that. My 12 up there is what I got.
Oh, right. So now you're trapped.
Yeah, but now you're on the ground and minorly mobilized.
Yes, you're okay. So, if the difference between the two of you is 4 points, if the attacker succeeds by a margin of 3 to 10, the defender is mostly immobilized. So, Luca, you're mostly immobilized. Edward, you're getting up from the ground, but you have to restrain your movements using the witch's hands to keep the trapping. So you now have the partially immobilized penalty, while Luca is mostly immobilized. And
Which is how much for partially? Because I get a second attack.
yeah. Also, if you're doing the second attack, you still get the penalty from being prone first, because or you get the penalty from doing another action, which is minus 20 for getting up. It's your
Yeah, that's lower. So
Yeah,
Okay.
getting
minus
up's a bit lower.
3
okay.
plus. How much is partially immobilized?
Partially immobilized is a minus 20 to everything apart from dodging, which is minus 40.
I get a minus 80.
Yep.
Wait, I use block. Is block different?
Yes, it's no, it's still minus 80 as well.
Okay.
And this is the second attack going to you right now.
So you have an extra minus 25.
Okay, so I'm currently negative 130.
Nice.
So minus 20 was that last time, so back to roll below 20.
That's over 100.
That's a plus. This is another trapping attack.
Yep.
Okay, that means you don't have a negative 3.
Yep. You can roll stats once again against each
Oh
other.
my god.
Haha!
Shit.
I get away, but not really.
Yeah, you're not more immobilized than you already were. I think
I would be totally fine if we said that eventually Luca got bound up, because he's not really going to do much winning when he's fighting without weapons and already partially paralyzed.
I think around this point, all of you hear the buzzing of another one of the drone groups, and immediately the sailors who had gathered around the beach to observe you immediately go to their designated hiding spot whenever there's a drone patrol going ahead. They hide beneath the wreckage of their ship that has landed ashore, or in the trees. What do your characters do? You also have spots to go and hide if you.
I just drag everyone into the water.
But they can't hold their breath.
I tell Luca to no, not the sailors.
Oh, you
My
mean Luca?
puppets, myself, and you. I tell you to hold your breath, and I
Luca can
drag
hold his breath for a while.
All right. So yeah, it's a still partially immobilized Luca that gets dragged into the water by the strings, and by the time the drones pass, both of you come up coughing seawater from beneath the ocean. You can probably see Gabriella sitting in exactly the same space, but she was already in a place that like under a tree where she wouldn't be visible
Right.
from a like she was already stealthing just from the way she was sitting. Or actually, that's just a suggestion. Would you be okay with that, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So what do you do after that? Would that be the end of the flashback, or do you still need to talk?
I take off my wires and I say, yes, it is the weapon helps, but it's not the weapon that makes the man, but the man makes the weapon.
I think man should be strong enough on his own and his faith.
I nod. Then follow your ideals.
Okay.
I understand them, however, I wish that you would see, and I'm sure that you will see eventually.
Right.
Okay.
Well, in this case,
You just got your ass kicked by 11-year-old.
almost. But also, I was not using any of my weapons or my shields or anything like
To
that.
be fair, I did keep you on the defensive, so even if you did use your weapons.
Yeah, it's true. That was me casually contending. But yes, that happened.
Shit.
All right. Everything that you spent, key points regenerate very fast, and fatigue points regenerate very fast. So you're both okay by the time the attack operation happens. I'm glad that we did like a combat sequence to that also serves to illustrate the training you went through for these couple of days.
Yeah.
So
Plus some roleplay with the characters.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to like just little scenes like that where it's like these are just us talking. There's no like possibility of gain other than us interacting.
Yeah. And so Gabriella, you reach the clearing where the sailors are at, and you can find Luca. You know, remembering this, he seems to be lost in his thoughts, and he seems to be remembering how hard his ass got kicked by an 11-year-old.
Yes.
So what do you do?
So I saw the manor. They've apparently set up tea for everybody. They're aware of all of you. But I also did see that on the second floor above where they have the table set up, there are a number of windows and there's a library in there. Perhaps that will have some useful information. I don't believe they saw me, so perhaps when we approach, if you all wish to have tea and discuss with him, I can try to sneak around inside, see what I can find.
Hopefully, we will have that opportunity.
You'll definitely have an opportunity.
Oh, I get it.
Or maybe Edward can just, pull some strings and get a hold of those books without us.
Well, Edward's at the bottom of the ocean
right now.
He already left walking underwater with Emmett.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, this doesn't change anything. We move forward. If you get a shot, use that paralytic on him.
On who?
The Count.
So do we want to actually talk to him first, or do you want me just to shoot him first?
How long does that stuff last? It lasts an hour, right?
The Langer poison?
The paralytic. The one that I think it was the Lager that we got the paralytic from.
Yeah, it lasts I'll add it. I'm gonna say it lasts 2 hours.
Okay. I would like to, but if it looks like he's going to get away, then we probably don't have 2 hours to waste. So we continue forward.
So,
I believe I only have 4 doses of that left, though.
Well, this is an opportune time to take a captive if we need
Yeah.
to.
right. So, are you going to use your poison if you have a shot or not? What was decided?
Well, if we're
like,
if
it
we're not
looks
going to
as-
talk to him, I can just throw some of those sphere spores.
That may be true as well, just like the sleeping stuff.
Okay.
I just don't want him to be a factor in any battles we have.
That makes sense. You do you. I did tell you. You do know a bit about the monster manual and what this image is associated with.
I do. I was
Oh.
like, why is this guy Oh, that's the count.
Yeah, that's the count.
Oh, okay.
So, Gabriella, you make your way back to the manor once again without being spotted by the distracted drones, and you're able to sneak around, and you can enter the manor from like another side than the one that is being watched by the count, and either make your way to a window that's like behind where he's facing, or make your way to the library, which also has windows to his back. So
Library.
you move through the building and you realize it doesn't seem to have any modification by the machine. It looks it looks like a normal building, a little bit dusty. You're pretty sure a count would have servants do clean up a little bit more, but not this time. You find the library looks like it has been through a sort of storm or something, because the books are all over the place. Some of them just left there open on a certain page. A lot of them have passages that have been underlined by someone writing frantically with a quill, adding notes, and you're like you're just a couple of steps away from seeing like the wall completed with like pieces of red string linking pages together. It's almost like this, but yeah, it seems a lot of research has been done here. What do you do?
Well, first thing I did was when I realized it was dusty, I made a point to make sure that I wasn't leaving any footprints in the dust as I traveled through the manor.
All right. How do you do this?
I will do this by using my incredibly light frame and my ability to move, maybe not in the actual, first I'll test it to see if I walk carefully, is my weight enough to create a depression in the dust? Or would it only be if I was to move through quickly and the breeze created by my passing would cause a disturbance to the dust?
All right. I think just your weight is able to create a small depression, but most of there's only some rooms where there's undisturbed, where there's an even amount of dust all over the floor, usually in the servants' quarters. Everywhere else, somebody seems to be walking around often enough to leave behind like a trail that you can walk in without your steps being found. So I think you find your way through them with your very high stealth. You find you find a way to like not leave behind a trail, and like possibly even if you have to go through the back door through the kitchen, you like you jump like onto the table and stuff like this to not leave a trail on the floor. You have been rolling very high stealth, so we're gonna say that like yeah, you make it there without leaving a trace to the library.
All right. In that case, when I get there, looking at the books, I'll see if I can make sense of the pattern of thought that was going on by whomever it was that was looking through the books and underlining things from one book to another.
Okay. I think you're going to roll notice to try to find any to find details that you can try to link together, and after that it can be just a science check with a large bonus based on the fact that you have like all of the research available to you already. Okay, you are able to have a look at everything, and basically this whole library, all of the books that are open refer to the machine in some way. A lot of them are historical books about the island of Círdan and its past, and like strange events that have been happening on the island since forever. And some of them are forbidden books written in languages of races that the Inquisition would rather see exterminated. Some of them using like the language of the elves. You do know, even if you don't know it, the Count seems to have translated parts of it, referring to the fact that in days old, an ancient evil was buried on the island, an evil that was that they think was created by the Dark Elves, but they're not. But the elves didn't seem too sure about that. Okay, what are you trying to find in terms of yeah? Are you trying to find a way to shut down a mother that's starting to wake, or are you trying to find a weak point for its agents or something? What are you looking for through this research?
Well, ultimately, I'm attempting to glean every single piece of information that's available through this passage and what he was searching. But if you need something more specific, I'm curious, first of all, can I figure out what he seemed he was trying to do? What was his goal by underlining the particular passages or translating the particular passages that he did? I'm going to try and figure out how to puzzle that together to see what it was that he was trying to learn. Because it's interesting, I saw him. Did he look like he had been taken over by the machine at all?
It looks like his body, like when you're able to observe him from the library window, you do see that there's places where it's hard to tell where his flesh begins and where the metal starts, because they seem to be fused almost at the cellular level, and making the transition between the pieces that are flesh and the pieces that are metal hard to distinguish. So
yes,
he does seem overtaken by the machine, in the sense that he does look like a more advanced technocrat. Okay. You find his diary that goes back a couple of years, and the first entry in which he starts to talk about the machine, he said it's something that goes a little bit like this. This could change everything. I've always known that the flesh was weak. I've almost died so many times, but with this, I could make humans more powerful than they've ever been, more intelligent. And it talks of unlocking the potential of our minds, our psychic powers. This could bring about a new era for humanity, a greater era, a better era. I know that many won't understand my actions until they're complete, but I have to try anyways. That's what you like. You gather that he seems to have an altruistic intent behind his actions.
Right. So then I would extrapolate that he perhaps somehow discovered where the secret that was buried here was, which would be the mother's. So I'm going to see if I can't follow that line to get an idea precisely where and what may have occurred when and if he did find it, or anything that indicates how she was to be waken up, or even better would be how to put her back to sleep.
All right. You're going to find the exact location of the machine based on one of the maps he drew of the quarry when he details his finding of her. That's going to be right around when Luca and Captain Florentino arrive at the manor from a distance. You find basically, yeah, he writes down that he found it at last. The villagers that he'd employed to dig deeper into the quarry have made a breakthrough into a deeper cavern, and they found the mother. They found larvas all over the floor, ready to be used. And he's talking about like starting his experiments and trying to find a way to interface some volunteers with the machine to improve them, for which there have been few but some volunteers, according to his journal at least.
There have been 2 what?
Volunteers, few but some volunteers to be improved. And yeah, there's a small map. Basically, it seems that there's been like 5 tunnels that branched out from the quarry to look for that cave, and the one in the middle found the carcass of the mother.
How about the indication where that secret tunnel that leads from the basement of the manor that goes all the way deep into the quarry where she is? Do I find that?
You can keep looking, but it's going to depend on whether or not you have the time to find this. Is going to depend on what Luca does. Luca, you are arriving in front of the manor. The Captain Florentino and his 30 men are still accompanying you, and there is now, as I said, there's like 10 drones flying over the manor, and tea has been served for all of you. What do you do? I think you might be muted.
Oh, I just clicked mute to unmute myself. So we see him, we see the tea, and we see these drones, yes?
Yes.
All right, well, we all have our crossbows out, and we're going to march up there like soldiers.
He's going to march too?
Well, he knows where we are, right? He's looking at us?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to march up to him like soldiers.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell the guys to watch those drones. If any of them get much closer, take your shots. And they'll say, Count. Can I see his... There, his name is over here. There he is. Are you Count Augustus Rigg?
He gets up and he comes to greet you a couple of meters like closer than where the table is, and he says, my friends, welcome. Yes, I am the Count Augustus Rigg. Please, you are my guests. Welcome at my table. I've prepared tea. I believe you were shipwrecked for a couple of days. You must be starving. We've prepared some food for you. And he goes back to the biggest chair and he sits in it. All of the pieces of metal that look like blades coming from him move in a very elegant way to allow him to sit without destroying the precious fabric on his small throne. Most of your soldiers, you are basically just watching the drones. They're not moving to take a sip from anything. Captain Florentino moves forward and he says, we're not going to try anything, any of your poisons. You won't get us this easily. And Augustus says, no, don't worry, it's not poisoned. Here. And you see him taking one of the, pouring himself some tea and drinking it.
Don't misunderstand, Count. There will be no discussions here. We are here to put the mother back to sleep. And that is what we're going to do.
You're an inquisitor, aren't you? I knew you self-righteous zealots were going to try to interfere, but you're too late. Your force is completely insufficient to stop us, and you'd be wrong to do so. I'm just trying to help humanity, and we've done nothing wrong.
Wherever your morals are placed, the Inquisition has found you guilty of heresy and the destruction of sacred human life. You can help us, and I will take you back, or you can die here.
Take me back? What are you going to do? Unfuse me from my new body?
No. You will likely die either way.
I can't allow you to do this, not when I'm about to change humanity forever. Okay.
Then we will do it by force. Then he raises his crossbow.
Okay. Augustus said, wait, just hear me out. Hear me out.
Crossbow raised.
Okay.
Listening, but crossbow raised.
What?
Listening, but crossbow.
Yeah.
I said listening, but crossbow is raised.
All right. You use tools. You have your crossbow, your armor, and from what my drones tell me, you even have a robot like my drones that, or at least an electromagnetic signature similar to my drones with you. You'd be hypocrites to say that all I'm doing is not similar to what I'm doing. You're using tools to get to your ends. It's just I found the perfect one that interfaces with human bodies perfectly, and our minds as well. It might look like the people I was recruiting on the mainland were dying, but they were not. One of the drones that's high above starts to come lower and lower, and one of the men shoots it, but
Yes.
It just falls to the ground, and the Count is still able to catch what it was carrying, which is a small crystal. It presents the crystal to you just as one of the other men destroys the drone's crystal, and out of it comes a faint blue light, and you can see the ghostly shape of the person that Gabriella operated, and she says, I really thought I was going to die when the spider got to me, but the instant that the crystal penetrated my skull, all of my mind was downloaded, transported into the mother, and I'm able to exist again in this new incredible intelligence, and I'm grateful for it. And the Count says, go ahead. She's here. You can ask her any questions. I know that the captain knew some of the villagers. You might know this woman too, and ask her to verify her identity. The captain says, I shall do no such thing. This is sorcery. And Augustus
The mad
says,
ramblings of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Augustus says, no, this is technology. This is something I can understand and master. These are tools that might even have been created by us. There's evidence that the Empire of Solomon could have been trying to do this to create this intelligence.
The mad ramblings of tortured souls will hardly help you.
You goddamn zealots. Well, I'm only trying to help you. You could be improved as well, become better at hunting the supernatural if that's what you want to keep doing when you're part of us.
We won't be part of you. And whatever power you've gained that deludes you into thinking you're still human, that will be destroyed too.
I really tried.
Paching!
Okay.
May I make an attack roll, or do I want to do an initiative roll?
You want to do an initiative roll because you obviously have your crossbow pointed, and you're announcing that you're not gonna let him live. He's
Okay.
ready. He's ready for combat at this point. But
Also, I'm back to being this little red dude. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, no. I'm sorry. So
Okay.
I'll get you the proper one.
Roy is cool, but I'm not Roy.
Did you see my post on the table there, Simon?
Yeah, you're waiting to till the count is as occupied with Luca as possible. I think the moment comes when, at the end of this discussion, because when he gets up, he seems like his intent seems completely focused on that group to the maximum, and you are able to perceive his key from the inside, from thanks to your new key perception. He seems to have more power than the humans around him, but also his the key readings that you're getting from him are very weird because he is half machine after all.
Okay. So I first of all, the diary, as well as many of the other books specifically regarding the mother that I would want to slip into my backpack or what.
Okay. What is your strength?
8.
Okay. So at strength 8, you are able to carry 175 pounds without getting any penalty. So you are able to take like quite a few books with you. I'm not good
Okay.
at pounds or stuff like this, but I know it's.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
whatever I could have managed to take that wouldn't over encumber me or slow me down, that's what I would have taken, and
Yeah.
we can calculate what that is later.
Yeah.
But essentially, I want to, when he's got the guy occupied, I'm trying to anticipate this so that it's before he gets up, because
Yeah.
he's less mobile
Okay.
while he's not up. But I did want to very quickly hurl 2 globes to ideally land on either side of him. But I'd also like to know, is there any particularly strong wind? Because if the wind is coming from the house, I don't want this all to blow right into the group.
Actually, I think the house would shield us from wind blowing towards us.
I would think so too, but if it's
Yeah.
coming from the opposite side, it would then wrap around the house and it would be creating a draft that would be drawing it away from the house on the
Yeah.
other side.
Okay. So if I roll a 1, the wind is going to be blowing away from Luca and towards the house, meaning he is less. He won't be affected by the gas. A 2 or a 3 means that it's going either this way or this way along the house, like along the side of the house, and it would affect
Gotcha.
everybody. No, it's a 3, so it's going in. So the wind is blowing in this direction, basically.
Okay,
It,
gotcha.
You are able to take the initiative to start the combat. Basically, you have a free combat round just for you, Gabriella.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna be basically tossing these the two globes to land just on this side to let that wind carry it right into.
Okay. That does mean that everyone will have that. Luca might be affected by it if he comes much closer, and so will the Marines. But that should be fine if they stay away. Okay. So.
I'm relying on Luca recognizing what's happening when it happens and taking appropriate action. So.
Can I for fun just make a notice check to see if I notice her sitting back there?
Sure. You're gonna have to go against the difficulty of his last stealth check.
Yeah, I don't expect to do it. Just like that would be cool.
You could probably see me since I'm at this point making myself visible to be able to throw these down there. I imagine to some degree I'm breaking that stealth at least for vision.
Yeah, good point. You're only going to count as 151 instead of 181 to be spotted.
Okay.
I would have. I would have missed it by one.
You missed it by one.
Yeah. Well, before I did. If he's 151 now, I should have it.
Oh yeah. Okay. You see her. So. Since I believe you would be able to throw it correctly at this distance with your attack. Since it's an area attack that doesn't rely on how skilled you are at throwing to do damage, he's just going to do the physical resistance, the poison resistance check, for which he is not very well equipped.
Would he do 2 since there's 2 balls of poison or no?
He would not. I think Jeff, it's better if you just throw a single one.
Okay.
And it's
yeah, I mean I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, he missed.
Right. It's poison resistance 110, and I missed by 2. Because he inhales the spore. I rolled pretty damn high, 78. I was close. I suffer a -5 to all action each turn. So, first turn, the surprise turn, he has -5. The next turn, he's at -10 when we all roll for initiative. Would Gabriella use a secondary action to try to poison him with some other thing?
I would not. At this point in time, I'm going to be tearing through the house, speed over stealth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go where the drones would not be able to follow me, because my concern is that upon having this happen, the drones are going to be trying to, or at least some will be trying to come after me. And I'm imagining they're going to be coming through that window. So I am tearing back to whatever point in the house looked like I could have a chance to get someplace where they wouldn't physically be able to follow me.
Okay, very interesting. So that means currently you are rolling to hide. You are because you just attacked. You have a -200 because oh no, it's doing it in front of someone. Okay, it's going to be just a -100, but you do have a +40 because of how big the mansion is. So you are only at a -60 against their against drone's perception.
Well, the first time I do it, I'm not trying to immediately hide. I'm trying to relocate. Next turn, during this turn, I'm moving.
Yeah.
The next turn, I'm gonna hide.
Okay, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same rule. So let's do it now at the -60.
But
okay.
I won't be moving when I'm hiding. That's the thing.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. You don't have the penalty for other actions with this rule. I'm just trying to like have the rule where you're hiding done so that
Gotcha.
we're good with that. Ooh, I opened roll to try to find you. All right. Let's see if I do. I open roll the second time. They are going to find you. So yeah, you see the 10 drones starting to come into the house, and some of the windows have already been like destroyed by them coming in and out. And as you're like running through the corridors trying to find a good place to hide, you see that they're like that they know the place very well. They are having like some of them are watching through the windows. Some of them are going through the entrances or blocking key entrances to make sure they spot you. And you know that next turn they're like going to find you. They seem to be converging on where you are. All right. So now let's roll for initiative, everyone, for the fight against Augustus Reed.
I rolled a 4.
Wow. Okay. Penalties to initiative. You rolled a 3, correct?
That's the negative 75.
I guess, yeah.
Yes. So you have a minus 75. So you technically count as 3, 8, minus 75. You have an initiative of 63. Okay.
63?
Yep.
We're almost the same initiative.
Right. And before we do this, we are going to go and have a look at what our friend Luca is doing. Not
You
Luca,
mean Edward?
Edward. Count. Okay. And add turn. So that should have the turns for all 3 of you. Here we go. All right. So, in the meantime, you've trudged your way all the way to the entrance of the quarry, and you find that it is guarded only by a single thing. There is a ship hovering above the entrance, and the entrance looks like it's been carved in a very interesting and mystique way. Like, it doesn't seem like the entrance to a quarry. It doesn't seem like the people would go in this thing to get minerals from it. Instead, it seems the statues were there as a sort of warning. And those statues look very old. They're sort of like starting to fall apart. And
Could I roll history or occult?
yes, you can roll for occult to know a little bit about this style and to try to understand who could have built this.
Well,
No, you have no clue. And above the quarry, as you're emerging from the water, you see something floating above your heads, about the size of a navy ship, which looks like this.
awesome.
Yep.
That's I hate it. How far away is it? How far away is it?
It's going to be, I'm going to say, 150 feet into the air.
Gotcha.
So, you're present. You've made it. You're at the quarry, and you're with Emmett and Willow, and they're both looking at you a bit more with a bit more concern in their eyes than they did before, than they had before. And Emmett says, going through here is going to be difficult if we have to fight.
I nod.
What do we do?
Willow,
Yes, sir, Inquisitor, what do we do?
do you have any invisibility magic?
No, Willow says, I know that some air magic could help me with that, but right now, but I haven't reached that level yet. I'm not.
How
Mhm.
strong are you with magic?
I can use a lot of spells from air, from the Book of Air, the Book of Fire, the Book of Water, and the Book of Earth, along with a little bit of essence magic. But I'm good at a lot of things, but it's small things every time.
I've heard some rumors about some mages, especially in the Inquisition, when they get desperate, they can push themselves to do something that they don't know how to do, Jim. Do you think that you could try to do that?
I'm really not sure if I'm going to succeed, but I could try. Emmett says, I believe you are suggesting that she uses the theorem of magic known as natural magic, and this tends to be very dangerous for inexperienced users. Are you? I understand you might not see Willow. You might only see Willow as a tool for your victory, but I can't. But I believe this is a bad idea, since if she fails, my power source would also fail. If she is hurt. And
I know
Willow
that.
says, I think I could do it. There's a chance.
If she believes that she can do it, then I wish it to be done. But only if she believes that there's a good chance of it. I'm not going to force her.
Okay, so let's have a look at the theorems of magic. Okay, so
She'll be doing touch, I
hmm?
assume.
What?
She'll be doing touch, I assume.
Sorry?
She'll be doing touch, I assume.
Yeah. It's good. You're using what you learned from the other game here. All right.
Yeah.
So, as a Hamadryad, she has a power of 12.
Nice.
And she is going to spend 300 Xeon in this.
Shit. She could spend that much and be okay?
It's gonna spend a lot of what she has, but she's really trying to help you here.
Fair enough.
It's a third of her magic, basically,
Okay. That's acceptable.
right?
Acceptable margins.
Okay. What sort of effect is that? Altering someone's appearance with illusion is a level 2, so it's going to be a level 3. Burning a house or making it rain, curing a natural disease, launching a powerful discharge of supernatural power, or causing intense fear in a group of people. Yeah, it's going to be a level 3 because the next level of illusion is creating the illusion that populates that a town is populated, that a populated town is deserted and uninhabited. Okay, good. So a level 3 is difficulty 24, and she gets a +8 on her roll. Okay, give me 1 second. It's going to be
actually, is there even a chance?
give me 1 second, and she wants this to last 1 minute. So the difficulty is going to be a total of 26, and she gets a +8.
So she would have a
She
21?
has a 40% chance of succeeding, I believe, with a difficulty of 26.
awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's fucking hope.
Nope. That is unfortunately for you a failure and difficulty 26. The effect fails. The caster loses a number of points of fatigue equal to the effect effect level, and which means she's going to lose 3 fatigue points.
Hope she didn't fall asleep.
She has Constitution of 7, so she is able to take that. But it also means she is really tired right now. So you can see her concentrate, and there's like hints of a spell appearing in her hands, and she moves to touch both you and Emmett, and suddenly she becomes really out of breath, and she says, I don't think it didn't work. I can try again, but it's I was almost there.
Don't push yourself. Besides, we have to make sure that we save resources.
I won't be able to do the flare spell if we're underground. So I should stay outside, right? That means should I?
If you stay outside, then I won't be able to communicate with you. Plus, you're right under, and I point up.
All right. Should Emmett and I go in and while you hold it off, if we can't sneak in?
I want to use Emmett as least. I want to save Emmett for when I really need help. So let's move in as a pack. I'll give you the command if I need Emmett. Okay.
All right, but Emmett says, I believe Willow was suggesting that we try to deal with the mother by going deeper into the quarry while you hold off this thing.
Most likely, the opposition that we'll be facing is inside, not coming in.
So we try to run in and survive this thing?
I nod. That is pretty much the goal, unfortunately.
It might send... look, there are some drones coming in and out of it. It might send a lot of drones after us. If we... one of us should probably hold them off at the entrance so that the others can keep going. I volunteer. I might...
There's a giant door here, right?
Yes. But deeper, the entrance grows smaller.
Well, yeah, but we can close that door.
No, it's just like a big hole in the cliffside.
Shit.
I just want you. Basically, I'd rather have the two fights going on at the same time so that everybody can roll initiative in this, and that the two fights can happen together if there's going to be a fight on your side. So so that's why I'm asking like what you're doing before I start with the fight with the others.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's best to do because the more resources you waste, the harder the dungeon's going to be.
I see. To you, it's going to be an entire dungeon inside. That makes sense to me. But there might be less trouble inside than you think, or more. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
Let's just move in, and whatever follows us, I'll try to deal with Roy.
All right. As you come out of the water, Emmett doesn't have a point in stealth. He's going to get noticed. And I don't think you have a lot of points in stealth either. So
No.
the carrier starts to, like, you can see hundreds of drones coming out from the inside of what seems to be its hangar base and flying towards you. But they seem to be flying in patterns that are much more precise than before. Almost like they are, almost like the swarm's intelligence is much stronger with the carrier around, and they are going to start attacking you. Emmett is going to be shielding Willow, and you are, and he's like running ahead towards the entrance.
How fast is he?
Hmm?
How fast is he?
I believe he has Emmett. He has a movement of 6. No,
Okay.
a 7. Yeah. So he's going to be able to make it in 2 turns into the.
Roy and Al look like they're just kind of casually jogging and keeping up with them. They
Okay.
both have a movement of 9.
All right. I don't have anything other than this to represent the carrier, so it's going to be an AT&T. Okay, so we're gonna do the initiatives on the same page for everyone to so that everyone can see the initiative on the same page. But we're gonna be describing both fights simultaneously. I do have to put in like the
AT-AT, Al,
Yeah.
and Roy and Willow.
in order to do their initiative as well.
I'm gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Willow. Can she do little bolts of magic that might not do that much damage? Just using her innate magic.
I don't. Her innate magic is not going to be strong enough to do some damage. Her magic accumulation is 60, so her innate magic is rather low.
Okay.
Okay.
'Cause I was just you could like do like a thing that deals like 5 damage and just destroy the crystals.
Yeah, she would be able to like use a small earth spell on the crystals without any difficulty.
Well, yeah, no, I need her to not use Xeon though.
Yeah. With her innate magic is what I meant.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was saying.
All right.
That's
And
what I was asking about it dealing a small amount of damage. All right, cool.
I'm putting your token here as well and giving you a turn. And now everyone can roll for initiative.
Where?
I already rolled.
Well,
Okay.
let's wait until we have the what's it called up there.
Oh, you just need to click it to add it. To click the timer thing. To make the initiative thing appear.
Well, yeah. No, actually, we can't. You're DM. You have to do it.
I mean, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we now see it, but
Okay.
All right.
I think that is true, though. We actually don't have that little timer thing.
Huh. Wait. So when I close it, it closes for you as well?
Yep.
correct.
Oh, okay.
It's gone
Also, why is there an AT-AT?
because it's the
I-
hive. It's the carrier.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's the carrier's stats. So
Gotcha.
It's a homebrew game. Spice in some fucking Star Wars in here, boys.
Yeah.
all right, and I have the same initiative as Roy apparently, and it's the initiative of perverts. Luca is dead last.
Luca, no. Ella
Oh no,
is dead last for the
Gabriella.
first time.
Yeah, Gabriella is dead.
Actually, we are both surprised. Well, I don't. Gabriella doesn't have to worry about this guy, but I am surprised by the dude, man.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Great. Let's see.
Great. I get to murder someone.
Yeah. Oh no. You started a fight with exactly the right person. Okay. Yeah, I've got the details for him. He is. He starts to like he coughs from the toxins in the air all around him, and he says that won't stop me. And his like metal spikes are starting to like come out of his body in a way that seems like very threatening. And he's going to attack you with his tail in order to trap you at no penalty apart from the one that I get from my penalty to all of the actions. So, yeah, his tail rushes towards Luca and starts to wrap itself around him. Go ahead and roll to defend.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Less than 20 again.
Oh, and you were surprised, so your defense was really low. Go ahead.
I did add the negative 90 into that.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Well, whatever you need to roll to escape this. I believe I have a +3 because I beat you by. No, I didn't beat you by
Nope.
200%. So I only have. So it's a pure dexterity check for me. That is such a shame. I beat you by 3 points, which means your character is
minorly immobilized.
Hold on. No. Because does a 1 do anything negative?
Not
Or
anymore.
no?
Not since the Arcane Exit
Okay.
came and changed things a little bit. So you are, I believe, partially immobilized or mostly immobilized? Yeah, partially immobilized.
It's the smaller one.
Yeah, it's the smaller one. You're still fine, but it is going to give you a penalty when dealing with the let's see. I'm gonna go with. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. He says, I don't need you interfering with my work. Go away. And you're going to feel this like powerful impact. He casts a psychic impact, and he's basically trying to throw you as far from the battlefield as he can. So
Traps you, then throws you.
Yep. All right. So let's go with potential. Whew, wait, I have 120.
Base.
So this is 128, basically.
Wait, why so?
Hmm?
Why so?
What did you say?
Why is 128?
Oh yeah, because I made a mistake putting in his stats. He's supposed to be at 110, and instead I wrote 100 and he's supposed to be at 120, and I wrote it 110 when I put it in. So it's my bad.
Oh, damn.
Okay. And he's gonna try to hit you with it. So go ahead and roll defense. You're not surprised this time.
That is my defense. I am not surprised, but I did take the negative for suffering a ranged attack and being a negative 20 for being trapped.
Okay. Did you take into account your shield bonus?
I did. However, I did not take into account this is the second attack. So I am actually at 1. I'm only at 90.
Okay. So you're only at how much?
96. And if it is necessary, my armor against impact is 3.
Okay, because this is an impact of only strength 10, so you go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll against this. And it has a strength of 10. So okay, that counts as
Oh, dang, I got a little bit.
that counts as a 23 in total. And let's have a look at. Okay, so first of all, impact distance. This is a strength 10 per impact, which means and it's a failure by 6 points, which means it's a gravity 2 failure, and you're thrown 4,575.
There's a
Miles?
there's a hyphen between those that is actually 45 to 75 meters.
Oh, okay. You're going to be thrown 45 meters because your armor slows this. But basically, yeah, you're projected out of combat, and since it's a gravity 2, it did seem like the impact was going to be a bit too powerful with this. Since it's a gravity 2, you're going to take just 5 damage thanks to your armor blocking most of it.
Yes. I'm just gonna I know this will help, but this is like
actually 25 damage because the strength modifier of 15 for a strength of 10 is taken into account. So you take
25.
Yeah, you take 25.
I have to do that. Get all these tables.
I wanted 4,000 miles.
You want him to be protected.
I arrived back in Albidian.
Yeah.
Hello, Romeo.
Soft reset.
Based on this angle, I'd be sending you to Stygia right around now. Based if the north is upwards on the map.
They don't like people from the Inquisition.
Oh no, they do not.
How do you travel across the country? I throw myself with impact damage.
Okay, you're in your turn because it's even if you're on the defensive, you can still pick yourself up and travel a fourth of your movement speed. So if you want, you can be not 45 feet away.
I would like to do that.
What's 1/4 of your movement speed?
Let me look that up real quick. I have movement speed 8, and so my movement value for passive is 22 feet.
Okay.
Which is approximately 7 meters.
Okay, yeah. So you're able. So yeah, he throws you not as strong as he would have wanted, but basically like you crash into the trees to the back of the fight, leaving the Marines around him the only people, and they are all pissing their pants right now. But you're able to walk back halfway through during your turn, even if put on the defensive. Next on the initiative is Roy.
You can go first because I can't do anything.
Okay.
before
Okay. I'm gonna have the carrier attack you then. Go ahead and roll to defend. It's doing a normal attack, just trying to damage you as much as possible.
Okay. And who is it targeted on?
It's targeting It's targeting mostly you with its main attack.
Yes. Which one?
Oh,
Which one?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's going to attack. Let's see. Actually, because I have 100 drones, I can do 2 attacks. Just for the first turn, it's only going to attack. Let's see, Roy. Okay. So go ahead and defend with Roy. And remember, since you're moving both of them, you have the penalties for. You have the minus 30 because you're using both of them at once.
Does that go to block as well?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Hold
It does. Just trust me.
on. Oh, that's strange.
Okay, roll to
Oh.
block, please.
No, holy shit! I didn't realize this. This is fucking awesome.
What is?
God. Oh, that's incredible as well.
Could you be more cryptic, please? We're almost understanding what you're saying right now.
Okay, huh. Okay. So I think that's a mob though. Yeah, that's a mob. I don't know how to create mobs.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so negative 30.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, 162, but AT, so.
Yes. How much AT do you have? Because the drones, when they are being controlled by a carrier, reduce AT by let's see, it's reduced by 4. So that means you only have
Holy shit.
hmm?
Damn. Okay, I have 5.
Wait, no. I'm attacking Roy right now.
Yeah, Roy has 5.
Oh, okay. So you only so it's only 1 point of AT, which means I do
And then absorption.
70. 70. So that I do 30% of weapons damage with the swarm. It's going to you take 60 damage.
60.
Yeah, they have a damage of 200 for a swarm of drones.
All right.
So yeah, you like basically what's going to happen is that like from one side there's like drones that are following each other as if the swarm is moving as a tentacle that's like moving towards you at incredible speeds, and you're able to defend against this. But then there's another attack that strikes at you from the back, and you are put on the defensive as well. You're still going to be able to move a little bit this turn, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, which is why you probably should have taken the turn first when I suggested you do this. Luca, it's your turn.
I thought it was gonna be like, hey, they now come down, not hey, you get 100 attacking you instantly. Oh,
Yeah, they move much faster under the control of a carrier.
How fast do they move?
Like right now, they're moving. You know, like how fast sorry, not bees, but flies can move at their with their size. Imagine now drones moving about the same size, the same speed, but proportional for their larger size.
Number-wise, how fast can they move?
What?
Number-wise, how fast can they move?
Oh, basically, it's they count as an attack, not as a horde anymore when they're being controlled by the.
Oh shoot!
carrier.
So they're like a projected spell.
Yeah, they count like a projected spell. That's why they're able to reach you in the turn.
Which means
Oh,
that
well,
depending,
I
they can
wouldn't
move
know
like
that.
1,000 feet a turn.
Awesome. If I would have known that, then I wouldn't have fucked with it. But
well,
okay.
If yeah, I understand. So Luca, yeah, you're able to make your part of your way back to the count, and it's now Gabriella's turn. You basically you know that your stealth is going to fail this turn, and that the drones are going to find you, and you can hear the fight going on outside. That doesn't seem to be going very well based on the shout of the sailors screaming.
I would like to say that Luca does his very best to seem just totally unperturbed.
Okay.
And chill as he walks back and gets his crossbow in range.
Roll composure.
I did. I got 127.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you are able to make it look like it didn't bother you. You were raising the morale of the sailors. Now, Gabriella, what do you do?
As I was continuing to do last turn, I continue doing this turn, which is I'm specifically going places they are unable to follow because of their size.
Ooh, okay. They are smaller than you, but
They're
you.
smaller than me?
Yeah, the drones. The drones are about this big.
About what big?
This. As I'm. They're on the image of the technocrits. They are up. They are to scale. Like you see, he has one on his arm.
Okay.
Um,
So if size isn't an issue, then it involves opening and closing doors as I'm running.
That's yeah, that's a great idea. And with okay, so first of all, can you roll key perception for me, please?
Would that be any different than just regular notice?
It would be that allows you to detect things through walls and stuff like this, and you have to go in your to the key power. There's
Oh, key detection.
yeah, key detection.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. You are able to perceive them based on their supernatural energy, even through the walls, which is going to give you a big bonus to your hide check this turn. But with the rolls that we made last turn, basically like they see you, so you're trying to disappear again. When you've been spotted, so you're trying to disappear in front of someone, and this incurs a minus 200 penalty because of your failure, because they open ruled.
I'm
the
not
last
making any attempt to prevent them from seeing me or noticing me. I'm not trying to hide from
Okay.
them.
You're moving away.
I couldn't care less if they see me. I couldn't care less if they're watching me. What I'm doing is because size, I thought that they were larger. I thought they were like
Mhm.
man-sized. And I'm specifically as small as I could, like I'm under 5 foot tall and under 100 pounds. So I
Yeah.
figured that there would be smaller places I could go. But if there aren't, I'm simply running through doorways and slamming doors shut behind me.
All right. So it's going to be a matter of how fast you can move and close those doors. So it's going to be an athleticism check against their athleticism. That changes the component of the of the contest, which is a good idea because they might not be the best at athleticism. Indeed, they are not. Right. They. How much is your how much is
20.
your movement value? How much is your agility?
Oh, 8.
8. Okay.
Hey, that's the same as me.
So that gives them a very small modifier because they can maneuver faster, but it's. Ooh. All right. They. Okay. So they follow you throughout the rooms, and one of them, like you're going to spend your turn like running around, and at the end of the turn, you find yourself in a bedroom. But one of them managed to like get in before you closed the door to that bedroom. You've been unable to outrun them. Where in the mansion are you heading to?
Okay, so from the library, I exited the library. Is there no
Mhm.
door to the entrance to the library?
There's a door here, and there's another door that leads deeper inside of the.
Okay, so the first one I ran through, I slammed that door shut.
Okay.
So then
What I'm asking is like, are you trying to head in this direction in the library, or are you trying to go to the basement, the ground floor? Like,
I'm
combat map.
basing this more on my instinct to follow hallways and be able to run through doors because I'm attempting to create obstacles so that they will not be able to follow.
Okay.
Since
So, like,
they're
purely-
A, faster than me, B, smaller than me, C, more maneuverable than me, and D, they outnumber me. So I have no realistic chance of winning if I have to fight them. So I have to make them unable to engage me, which means I have to just continue running through the quick wherever the closest door is at each stage of this is where I'm running through, which I wouldn't be able to tell unless I had a detailed floor plan.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I think.
I mean, ideally, I'm just running in circles,
all right.
you know, in
I-
random directions.
I think that you're going to, based on the fact you're following your instincts, you're going deeper into the manor where there's less windows and the rooms are more quarantined from or like have less entrances to each other. So you're heading towards like the center of the castle. You're going to I've got an idea. The room that you find yourself in right now has a door. The other door leads to the small personal chapel of this place, but that will be for next turn. Currently, you're just in a bedroom, and the drone has followed you. New turn, new initiative. Okay. Oh wait, I am now at a -15 to all of my actions.
And I'm thankfully probably still going to get hurt, but not surprised.
Okay. Carrier has an initiative. Okay. 230 and 104. Okay. So, Roy has 10. That is not great for Roy.
Yeah.
And Luca, you rolled a 90. Okay. The Count Augustus instead sees you coming back, and he says, "Listen, we can still prevent this. We can still prevent this fight. We don't have to do this. We don't have to go about this in such a violent and horrific manner." And then he pauses for a second, and he says, and his voice becomes extremely robotic, and he says, "The mother is under attack. Activating defense protocol. Overtaking every single unit on the island. Priority number 1, defend the mother. Priority number 2, eliminate all humans." And now he's going to start attacking seriously.
Cereal.
Okay, first attack. He is going to attempt to trap you with his psychic powers so that he can better stab you with his 2 attacks, with his second and third attacks. So, go ahead and roll to defend yourself. It's going to be Psychokinetic Trap. Oh, that's good. All right.
I'm okay with it.
Yep. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna roll for projection to see if he has any chances. No. You are able to dodge aside this psychic power. It's like a huge claw, like a scorpion's claw. Even his psychic powers are themed after look insectoid in nature, like the machine does. Okay, so he's unable to trap you, but you have the penalties of the. But you have a penalty for the second attack. So please roll to defend a second time.
Hot tamale.
Whew.
Hot tamale, 320.
Oh my god, he comes close to you for this, so you can counterattack, actually. You can counterattack at a +10 bonus.
Oh my god, only +10.
All right. Well, he got pretty high too, and he will like move in really close and like get really gritty looking with his head, with his eyes, and say, "Mankind was made to struggle. All of your technology, all of your power only makes you weaker at your core." And he's gonna shoot him in the face with a crossbow because that's all he has drawn right now.
Okay.
Actually, I would technically get a smaller penalty from drawing my short sword and stabbing. May I do that?
Oh wait, you rolled a 99. You're still open rolling. You might get another a bigger bonus to your counterattack.
Well,
He
I
does
can't get
need
over
to-
319.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still happy with that, and I can still draw my blade and fatigue it. So
Okay. You're attacking with your blade instead of the crossbow?
yeah, it does the same damage, and technically I get a -60 for having been attacked already. And even with a +30, bonus for point blank, it's still probably better for me to just take the -25.
Yeah.
So I reduced that negative.
Okay. I rolled pretty bad for my defense.
Well, you rolled pretty bad, but it's still a lot harder than me.
Yeah.
Fatigue! No, I don't hit it. Is it
Okay.
a shield?
No, it seems his projection is worse than his attack and defense because the people who made the monsters in this game don't know how the game works very well. Yeah, he's much better at defending with the blades that are coming out of his body. In fact, he's going to counterattack your counterattack. I get a
So many attacks. If he has an attack again.
Yes, each turn he has a different power that he can draw upon. This turn I chose the chained blades that gives me a second attack at -20, and because I'm counterattacking with a margin of 60 points, I get a +30 bonus to my attack, and so just a +10 to my attack instead of the -20. Thank you. Right. Okay, I rolled a 9, but how much?
That is what he's using cut, I imagine, with chain blades.
Yes. How much
I got
armor do you
4. So, well, unless he pierces, I have 4. Yeah.
His blade, like it might look like a normal blade in first appearance, but when it cuts, when it attacks you, you find that it's actually like an extremely thin blade. It reduces 5 points of armor. He's going to do, let's see, 80, 60% of the damage. 6 times 40. Okay, you take 84 points of damage. Is that a critical?
Not yet. Wait. 84?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. Really good. You're obviously put on the defensive, but the sailors are going to
Take lots of fire.
What?
Shoot him a whole bunch.
Yep. There is 30 people, so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to see which of them open roll. So there's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 open rolls.
Oh, whoa. I figured they'd just be a group.
Oh yeah, I could do that as well. They're much less likely to hit him as a group foe.
I know, but I don't want to like only get group enemy beneficial side.
Yep.
There's a second open roll.
There is, and it's the fourth, and it's the third attack, which was the one that did 100. So it's
Now, according to the rules of Natura, unless these guys had higher Natura than regular humans, they would not be able to open roll twice.
it's Captain Florentino.
Heck yeah, Captain Florentino!
That is a total of 300. And he would be blocking with the maximal penalties because he's been attacked by a bunch of people. So he's going to take, basically all of the sailors jump on him at the same time, and
You came to the wrong place, motherfucker.
Well, technically we came to you, but whatever.
Shanghai.
All right. So for damage of 60, it's going to be 100. Can somebody calculate 150% of 60 points of damage, please?
90.
90. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Actually, scratch that. 90% of 60 is going to be 54 because he has armor as well. All right, congratulations. You've done about a third of his life points already. I'm gonna have to kill all of those sailors. Gabriella, it's your turn. What do you do?
I'm gonna run through that door, slam it shut.
Okay. We're doing another athleticism check, and yeah, where I only have 20. The drone follows you in once again.
I step out and slam the door on it if it follows me through. I'll lock. If it's going to follow me into there, I'm going to jump out and slam the door.
Okay.
So instead of locking it in, locking it out. I'll lock it in.
All right. Let's see. Okay. I think a good way to represent this and how fast you react to each other is if it tries to attack you and if you manage to dodge, you'll have been able to reposition you in a way where you're finally isolated. Basically, like just reacting to it. And its attack isn't that amazing most of the time.
Neither is my defense.
Whew. Except when I open roll.
Definitely not that amazing.
I was only saying it's not amazing most of the time, so that if I opened roll, I could say, but
oh yeah, look at that, love it.
A 2. Oh boy, this is not good. Roll 1d100 plus 0. Roll 1d100, and that's going to be the penalty you get to your defense.
Yeah. There's a big number.
So you have a total of 7 of defense, which means I do 210% of my weapon's damage, and
What about 80? What about 80?
Oh yeah, are you wearing any armor?
I am.
Okay. What is your armor against cutting?
I cannot click on armory, and I can't make
The buttons for the sheet are weird.
Sheet.
You could expand your sheet or click in the white space to the right, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So
You have you have 1 point against cutting. It's cutting. Yeah.
So 1.
Okay. That reduces it by. Okay. So I do 200% of the weapon's damage. Oh boy, I got really lucky. The stingers. Okay. Stinger hits with his legs. Yep. How much life points do you have?
How much damage do you do?
I'm that critical can potentially really hurt because I didn't realize that their main weapons do 100. Wait, has it always been 100? Oh no, it's the attack. My bad. It's 40. Of course, it's 40. So you do. I deal 80 points of damage in total.
Yeah, I have 5 left.
Whew, that is a critical. So roll physical resistance.
You only take damage in all but a small chunk of your HP forms.
Critical. Okay, you don't take a critical. Like you take a critical, but it has no effect on you. Basically, it's as you're trying to dodge back into the room, it sweeps in and it's going to like slice across your back as you're like tumbling into the other room, and like and you can feel 4 deep cuts where it's like metallic legs hurt you, and you're just about and the sound of the buzzing gets louder. They are surrounding you currently. Things are not looking well, and it's the carrier's initiative. Listen, Roy, do you want to defend in a way defend at the -80 so that you'll be able to act again this turn if you're put on defensive, or not?
If I do that, would I be able to reach the inside
Yes.
of the cave?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you're defending at -80 plus.
Please attack Al.
Hmm?
Please attack Al.
You haven't attacked yet? Oh no, they are attacking Roy, and they're attacking at a -60 because they're aiming.
Fuck off. Don't do that. Minus.
They are super bots.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm not going to deal any damage to you, but
Yep, I'm gonna break my artifact.
yes, the machine seems to recognize your.
You know that means that 2 CP is now a waste, right?
It is not. The artifact can in fact be repaired, and you have the person who can repair it with you. But it means they're out for this combat. The machine concentrates on on your on the what seemed to be the source of the most destructive weapon of the group, the witch's hands, and they start to cut enough slices through it that your mystic strings
technically
disappear.
they wouldn't know about it.
They most definitely would. They know about every fight you've done against them since
That
you're.
is correct.
Yeah.
However, they've never been able to see my ropes, my strings.
They have not. They didn't need to see that every time you moved your hand, some of a lot of them died. They are technically also destroying the Roy's hands, which will need repair. I think I'm going to symbolically give Roy 20 damage for this attack to represent
Roy
this.
is officially useless.
Well, not necessarily completely, but he doesn't have a weapon anymore. Yeah.
Yes, that's useless.
But you're not on the defensive. Luca, it's your turn.
It's not. Wait a minute. It's my turn. Did I counterattacked him on my turn? I'm like, how is
Yes.
it my turn? I was attacked too. So
And you've been put on the defensive, but you can still choose to run away.
Heck no.
Okay. So that's going to be it for your turn, and
Yeah.
it's now your initiative. Roy, Al, Edwards. What do you do?
By the way, it is like the
We
downside of
run inside.
artifacts. They're stronger than most creation points you can choose, but there's the option of losing them.
There's also the option of an NPC stealing them and starting to use them. There's also the option of them being destroyed, which is why I made sure that when the machine started making moves to try to destroy them, you'd have someone with you who could repair them at the once you were out of the action. I'm starting to make my moves, and I really like playing as the machine because one of their best abilities is the ability to adapt and evolve. There aren't a lot of other enemies developed in the books that are able to like have a look at like understand how the characters fight and become stronger against them based on that. So it's your turn now. You haven't been put on the defensive. So what do you do?
Get inside.
Okay. You're able to get inside. The swarm is still following you, and they're still going to be able to attack you. But here they have the difficulty of maneuvering in a space that is a bit smaller. But so do you, because like you are pretty huge. I think because you got put on the defensive in the last turn, you're going to be the last one into the mine. Do you do anything else? Because the swarm is around you. You can try to attack it if you want, or you can not. But it doesn't. Technically, you still have the option to attack if you want.
Sure. Can Al swing at the giant horde, I guess?
Yep. You can, if you, do you do an area attack?
He can't.
He definitely can. He has a giant axe.
Sure, I guess.
An enormous axe, which I think is like a number. Well, actually, I think it's not listed, but the one below it is 5 enemies at a time. So.
Yep, it is 5 enemies at a time. Just like the strings.
Why the fuck is Al glitched? God damn it.
Oh, is there a problem with your character sheet?
Yeah, my character sheet's been glitched. Can't fuck with it.
I can see your Battle Axe Lawbringer.
Awesome.
What do you want to...
I can mess with it now. It's a negative 50 to area attack, so sure. They count as a weapon, so I'm guessing they wouldn't get a defense.
Let me... Carrier... the carrier itself the carrier does not get a defense. And as a swarm, they only have the basic their basic defense, which means you're going to do 70% of your damage multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4.
70%?
Yeah, they have the defensibility of. Oh, nice. Okay, so you destroyed, I believe, 6 of them.
Yay. 6 out of 100, I believe.
Yep.
Awesome.
Out of, let's see. Let me calculate that just to be sure. Yep. So you're currently at -5. They're currently at -532. From the inside, Emmett says, "The tunnels are too big. They're gonna keep following us. I can try to take down the carrier, but but I'm out of reach of it. What do you?
Where would you need to go to be in range?
He points. He points back back up to the sky. What is the? Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to check real quick if Willow has any ability to make people levitate, because that could be helpful in this fight. Artifacts, Arcana. Here it is. Air, magic. Elbow, free motion. Okay. She says, I could make one of you light enough to step onto the drones up to the carrier, or both of you.
I'm guessing both would make you unable to do anything.
No, it would only drain. Let's see. She has I believe I believe she has 600 points of magic. It would only take 100 points. Like she says, I can still cast other spells after that.
Okay, then yeah, send us both up.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just checking that. Yeah, I have currently 610. She would have only 510 points of Xeon left. So she casts free motion on both of you. It's like you have the key power weight cancellation. New turn. Before you're able to, before everyone rolls for initiative, Gabriella, in the your how do I say this? Yeah, you're in the room in which you are. There is a faint buzzing, but it's not just the wings of the drones around you. It's a sort of electricity-based buzzing, and you out from the third door to the room is going to come someone you didn't know you could be happy seeing, and you still don't know if you can be happy seeing him, but he enters the room and he says,
Oh, butts. Sorry, like I missed the name. I'm like, who is this?
I didn't say the name. And like,
I wish he was over here,
It's the
but
menace.
yeah, he's going to come in and say, I can take care of those drones for you. Basically, he places himself between you and the drone that's just attacked you, and he says, I can take care of them and stall them. The count, he's he tries to stay away from poisons as much as possible. I believe he might be you might be able to take him down much better than all of those out there. If I cover you, can you go and take out this menace for me?
I don't say anything to him, but I do turn and head towards wherever I think maybe the count is.
All right. I'll take out all of his.
Yeah.
drones.
Just be quick about it.
Yeah.
What took you so long? Get snapping.
Yeah, he goes back to being like silent, and he's going to you can see like key power emanating from him, and he's going to start unleashing his area of attack, electricity attack, on the drones that are around the house. New initiative, everyone, and this time it seems the fight might somehow turn in your favor.
I'm doing the same thing again.
I have my weapons this time.
What same thing are you doing?
Negative 80.
Okay, because you're playing with mostly Roy, right?
Yeah, I'm playing with. No, I'm
Uh,
playing with old Al.
Al,
Because
mostly, yeah.
Roy is useless. Even if I get out of my body, I can't do anything.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
yay.
All right. Okay, and the carrier. Okay, so carrier has open roll. Whew.
Awesome.
Here goes. Fastest bugs in the world.
Yeah. That is one fast AT&T. Like in the movies, they're not represented as very fast, but okay, and 224. Okay, Luca, you're 149, and you are lower on the initiative. Okay. Oh yeah, so the carrier is going to be the first to act. This time, it's going to focus its attack mostly on the poor Emmett. And as you're making your way out this time, Emmett is going to be in front and taking most of the drone's attacks.
Yay, I think.
Okay, and he is able to basically like block the passage as you're making your way out of it, taking all of the attacks from the carrier. Okay, the Count is going to do an area attack.
But not on, well, I mean on Luca, but Luca has initiative and doesn't get surprise.
Okay, do you block?
I do block with my plank.
Okay. If you are able to block this attack, you would be able to stop it from continuing to hurt the other sailors.
In that case, for one thing, it doesn't count as a fire projectile or anything.
No, it's a he's attacking with the blades from all over his body.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to double fatigue it.
Okay.
Actually, I have not subtracted my fatigue from before. Sorry. So here we go. 2 more.
I don't
I
have
have
it. I never have the option to double fatigue to fatigue with this character because
Wait, was that?
Oh yeah, that was without the penalty for the area attack. Never mind. So 226 is what I actually did. Ooh.
Yeah. Double fatiguing a block. I never do that.
In fact, it does give you a counter attack that you can do right now.
I can't fatigue it, but I can, and I don't have to do any drawing penalties. So this is just entirely better than last time. Okay.
Yep. You're gonna have a plus 25 on your counter attack.
All right. That brings me up to a not terribly bad plus 80. I don't think I'm going to hit him, but I will get close.
Okay, yeah. You know what? We're going to count that the sailors do the attacks before your counterattack to give so that it's like better representing of how your character is the one who's most likely to hit in these cases. So it's going to count. Sorry?
After his area attack, would he be intending to make other attacks on me?
No.
Oh, okay. I kind of wondered with that area attack, which would have prompted me to say, I want to hold this
You want to
attack I
hold?
got. Like the attack I got, until they've barraged him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get. So we're going to say that like thanks to your blocking, they attack him. Drop his defense to the maximum it can be dropped, which is 100 points. Which means he actually rolled 195.
Which, well, I am very pleased that I would have stopped him from being able to attack anymore if he wasn't already.
Yeah.
I do believe that his armor will soak that, because I don't pierce any armor.
Oh yeah, your Lawbringer is the shield, so you don't pierce any of his armor. So yeah, he's able to take that blow, and okay, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 open rolls. Okay, that would be a total of 180. That's 200, 200,
It's-
and
There's a lot of math going on.
yeah. He's gonna take like another 20 points of damage from all of you attacking. We did do your counter attack, so that would be the end of your turn. Is there anything else you want to do? Do you want to enter your
Actually,
rage? Or
Actually, I have an additional attack because
Ooh.
I have ambidextrous. So I won't be able to fatigue or anything if it's my turn and I'm not on the.
it is your turn after the count. Yes.
Cool. Okay. This is my attack with a tiny dagger.
Okay. So
That's better than my big counter attack.
he's blocking at minus 100. Okay, you do 90%. He has an AT of 6. You do 30% of your weapon's damage.
Not bad. Well, 12 damage, so not great, but I did something.
You are wearing him down. 12 damage would bring him to 89.
Very good.
All right. Gabriella, it's your turn. In your turn, in your initiative, you are able to move throughout the manor to outside of the manor with your movement speed. Do you want to attack in the same turn from a distance? Do you want to do something else? You don't have to come out of the manor like I mentioned. I'm just saying it's like within your movement speed.
Well, can I get to where he's within range of me shooting him with my blowgun?
You can, yes. You would have the. Are you drawing your weapon now, or did you already have it in your hand before?
It doesn't matter. It's in my hand instantly anytime I want it.
Yes, you do have the drawing skill, so that's good. Yes, you are within range of your blowgun.
And having moved and all of that stuff into range, what are my negatives to hit him?
It's only the range doesn't play into account, but you're at a minus 20 because you already moved this turn. It was your previous action. That's
Nope, just gonna aim at him and shoot him next turn.
Okay. Understood. And Roy.
TA. So can I get to the thing?
Yes, you are. You are able to like propel yourself onto the drones and climb upward as if you were, running against a wall, or yeah, it looks for the first time as if you're moving without any weight. So you are able to make your way to the carrier. If you want to attack, you'd be doing it at the -20 from your because you moved. But you can attack.
Awesome.
Are
Is your
you-
sheet messed up?
Yes.
Listen, try closing it and opening it up, and opening it again.
Oh, I've tried that many times.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna reboot. Let's see if that helps.
If you want, okay, hold on. I can try to remove control over the sheets from you and then give it back to you, or maybe give it to all players.
Ah!
So maybe that will give like.
I'm changing Roy's appearance to 2. It's because the hands. He's got these crazy hands now.
Do you see
Oh,
Al?
he's fixed. He's
Hmm?
fixed because I relogged. He's fixed because I relogged. So
Okay.
-20.
Yep. Yes. How many attacks do you do?
Shit. I should have done 2. Sorry.
You can add the -25 penalty and just do do 2 attacks. Go ahead and roll for the second one, and this is gonna be fun. Carrier. The carrier.
59.
Okay. Do you reduce armor?
Yes.
Okay, so I believe you reduce your armor by 3 points because you have a quality of +15, which means this is only blah blah blah. So you're going to do 80% of your damage and 100% of your damage for a total of 180% of your weapons damage.
30% and 150.
No, 180% of your weapons damage.
342.
Okay. Right. So yeah, you start to strike at it with like immense force, and you are penetrating the hull. Let's see, and 58. You start to attack it, and it has this like psychic scream coming out of it, and it's you've just unlocked its defense mechanism, which has defensive blades coming out of it and attacking everyone who's within 15 feet around it. So please roll to defend. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry too.
Likely.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't hurt me.
Yes, they even if I remove 2 points of armor with those blades, it's not able to penetrate the owl's protection. So you're good. You're okay. So it's the end of this turn, and it's already noon. So I suggest we stop it mid-fight for today, and we can start again next week.
Good. I would normally be like continue, but I admit
Yeah,
that Black
and
Friday is taking its toll.
yes, some of one of you had like only 4 hours of sleep to go before their next.
That
before,
sounds like a Robin problem.
yeah. So experience points. You are currently going up against your toughest challenges yet. So I'm going to give everyone. Let's see. Okay, everybody gets 45 experience points for today.
45.
Yes.
Woo.
And Elon points.
Luca keeps wanting to deliver the line from Batman versus Superman.
Which is? Which
Men
one?
are brave. Like, you are not brave, Robot Man. Men are brave.
Okay.
I would not want to do that.
Okay, so Luca, with your composer check, you gave hope to a group of people. So that's going to give you 3 points of Elon when you kept face against danger. You didn't save anybody's life. You didn't exactly help anybody in need. You are trying to undo a minor wrong, so it's going to be a total of 4 Elon points. Did you lose hope, ignore somebody in great need, or commit an evil act? I don't believe either of these. Did you lose hope at any point?
No, he has not yet.
Okay.
I'll tell you when he does, though. I need to remember that.
Okay. Edward, you're in the process of overcoming a complex challenge. Right. You get 2 points of Elon with Noah. Did you ignore a challenge for fear of failure? No. Did you get defeated by an opponent of equal or lower standing? No. Losing the will to better oneself and abusing power foolishly. None of these apply to you. And Jeff, you okay. All right, Jeff, you win 3 points with Israel. You did not commit an evil action. You did not take an innocent's life, and you did not collaborate. Okay. He doesn't technically count as forces of darkness, but you did technically collaborate with the High Inquisitor Guild. But that's not going to make you lose any Elon points. You just get the points I gave you. Okay, that's it for today. I hope everyone had fun with the first session of this finale for this big arc, and I will see you all next week.
Okay.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.